So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, most amazing viewers. I'm so blessed to be here. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I am so thrilled that you found me. I hope that you guys stay and that this reading resonates for you. If it does not, you don't find a pile here resonating, then you might want to go find another reading in my playlist, or you can come back at another time and hopefully your energy can connect. For those of you guys who are returning, I'm so blessed to be here, and I'm so grateful for you guys joining me today. I can't wait to get into this reading. We're looking at the person on your mind, and I will be using these decks right here. I'll put a link to the playlist where I reveal the cards in these decks for those of you guys interested in energetically charging these cards or just reviewing the cards as a whole. And this will be a pick a card reading. If it's your first time here to tarot, then I do suggest that you guys listen to the disclaimer, which I'll link below, so that you guys know exactly how it is that I'm channeling energy. Now, sometimes the energy comes reversed, and since I'm asking about the person on your mind and how they feel about you and their thoughts, because the thoughts and the feelings sort of tie into each other, and we get your own thoughts and feelings, then you might want to go check out another pile. Sometimes there's like flip piles, and the stronger energy pulls through, which would stand to reason you tap into your own energy. Okay, but my intention is always to connect to the person on your mind. But however spirit pulls through is not up to me. In fact, sometimes spirit hijacks the reading with some other message that the spirit's wanting you to hear. Okay, if you don't want to hear it, if it's triggering, if it's not the right time, if it's just not what you wanted, then go check out another reading. I cannot help it, but I'm going to read exactly what comes through, regardless if it's talking about something completely different. Okay, I'm not going to change my description. The thumbnail is going to be the person on your mind and how they're thinking and feeling about you, because that is my intention. I haven't recorded anything here. That's my intention. And so the spirit knows you're going to click on this video, and whatever comes through that pile is exactly as it comes through my vessel, through the way I deliver and channel that message. The spirit knows. Okay, so I do hope the message resonates. I do intend it to be the person on your mind. But if it's not, like I said, only you have the power to go elsewhere. Okay, I'm not everyone's reader, and I don't try to be either. So if it doesn't click, doesn't jive, then I will see you guys at another time, hopefully. Okay, so for those of you guys who are interested in this reading, we have 4 options to choose from today. Option number 1 is Gustave Doré's Tarot. Option number 2, we have Spirit Speak Tarot. Option number 3, we have the Crow Tarot. And option number 4, we have the Todd Alcott's Sci-Fi Tarot. Sit with this energy and take as long as you need. You can pause the video if you'd like. I'll let it run for a bit. I'll put the timestamps down below. If you're drawn to multiple piles, there could be interchanging energies that are still relevant to you, the connection or person on your mind, or someone else pulling through here. Okay, so just listen to your intuition. If you feel stuck, close your eyes, open your eyes, and whichever one you're sort of first pulled to will most likely have the message for you. Okay, we could be tapping into passing, present, future energy. So keep an open mind, although don't force it to fit. You don't have to contort yourself or run with any messages you see on the internet. That shouldn't be something completely shocking and left field. This should resonate with your intuition. Okay, if it doesn't, then it's not your message and it's not meant for you. It's meant for someone else. All right, so I will see you guys at your pick. Hello, beautiful pile number 1. You guys picked Gustave Doré Tarot. And we're looking at the person on your mind and their thoughts and their feelings about you at this time. Okay, you guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's connect to your energy and the person on your mind, and we'll ask spirits to deliver what you need to hear for the greatest and highest good of this connection. For pile 1, the person on their mind, person they came here about. What are their feelings and thoughts about pile number 1 specifically in this connection? That pile 1 needs to hear at this time, Spirit. Thank you so much. I'd like to take this time to thank you, pile number 1, your higher self, your spirit team, guides, angels, ancestors, and of course, Spirit, for this act of divination. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. What is pile 1's person on their mind feeling and thinking about pile 1 at this time that pile 1 is watching this reading? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of this connection, Spirit. Thank you so much. We have the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse revealing itself. Now, I attempted to record this yesterday, although there were so many distractions. But I did complete your pile, and the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse came out. Okay, I'll try to just read it independently of yesterday, but I'm getting the same sort of energy. It seems to be a connection here that, I don't know, like you're no longer maybe thinking it's worth it. The juice is worth the squeeze. So I don't know how long you've been at it, but it's like, what is it sort of worth? What is it providing for me is kind of what I'm picking up here, okay? Now, of course, you can flip the energy. This could be your person, but I doubt the person who's sort of feeling this way is, I'm pretty sure the person who's feeling this way is a person who's going to be here at a reading, saying like, is it even worth my investment here? Because I feel you're dealing with someone maybe who isn't practically showing up or investing in this connection in a way that maybe makes you feel seen, appreciated, valued here. Okay, and it's like, but more I'm getting like, do I want to invest? This seems very lopsided here. Okay, I haven't even seen the cards and it's feeling absolutely lopsided. Maybe you have different values as well. Okay, now I am getting also for some of you guys, you might be in a long distance connection or your person is sort of removed. I don't know if it's a no contact, a separation, and they're far away, but it's like, even if you're on good terms, it's like we can't get together, so they don't have time for me, or they are just unavailable. So is it worth it, Should I continue this thing? That's sad, And for others of you guys, it's like questioning this person's maybe intentions because they haven't been able to invest. Maybe they haven't prioritized you, or they're just not in a position here to do so for whatever reason, but let's see. Okay, so we have the 4 swords. So healing, reflecting, and I do feel, I know I haven't flipped them, but I got to read the energy as it comes. It feels to me like it's been for a longer period of time for us to be in this sort of energy. It's not like a new connection here. I don't feel at all. This seems to me like I was trying to make it work. Maybe you got hurt, however you want to categorize hurt, It's like I got here sort of maybe left feeling stuck or abandoned or rejected or something, because I do feel or sad about what's transpired. I do feel you've gone through a 3 swords already. And I do feel it's in this connection. And now it feels like it's the upswing of the 3 swords, although it still feels like, but there's no action here. It's like I went through the hard parts, now what, And so maybe you're reflecting like, do I stick around here? I know this is all sort of your energy still, okay? So if you don't want to hear it, then go. I don't know whose I'm reading here, but this is exactly as it's coming through. Okay, don't blame the tarot reader. Yeah, strength in reverse. Do I have what it takes to continue on? Because it already has been, who knows how long. Some of you guys might be recovering from a cold here. This definitely gives to me recovery from something, But it could be the recovery of the 3 swords. I got hurt in a way here. And now I'm maybe protected or guarded or trying to recoup or regenerate my energy. I don't want to experience what I did. And so you could be completely pulled away here, not talking to this person or just like isolated or trying to heal, trying to reflect. And could be your person if they feel that you hurt them. Could be. Okay, Ace of Wands, new beginning. This is like the spark of inspiration here that gets us to either take action or do something. Okay, Two of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, it's like this new energy of getting tired of the old is what I feel. I'm tired of the old, I'm tired of the stagnation. I'm tired of it being sort of at a stalemate or a crossroads or the fence sitting or the sitting without or not attaining, not investing maybe, if this is your person. We'll see, because now it's sort of blending into your person. Yeah, 8 Pentacles. Where can I invest? Where can I work? You guys could be sort of flipping tables here. You could be suddenly flipping. I can invest here, and your person is now flipping. And this sort of resonates with yesterday's reading, because it did seem like there's an energy that's like now coming to some sort of shift all of a sudden, as a result of something. And it feels like the result of something is a long time and nothing. And now it's like, whoa, well, then I do have an option here. What are my options? Where can I work towards that is going to be something of value here? Because I'm not an insane person. I'm not going to beat my head up against the wall continuously, not attaining something here, Alrighty. 9 Cups. I want to be happy. And the Queen of Cups in the reverse. It's the same energy from yesterday, and I'm feeling 2. And if I'm reading it right, and you could flip the roles, I feel you are a Queen of Cups. Loving, giving, caring, and have a lot of love for whoever this is. But love within itself doesn't sort of, it could sit as love for sure, but it doesn't practically create unless there's some form of a practical effort and energy investment. And if we are unable to do this, especially if it's imbalanced to do this, or we're not emotionally sort of fulfilled in doing this because of fill in the blank, then it just sits as sort of love until we have to sort of do something or choose something different. I think you are removing yourself, or have been, in an energy where you can't bless this person. Okay, again, flip it if you need to, and I have to say that. And if you can't bless this person with your love because they're at a long distance, or because it's been imbalanced, or you've been hurt too many times, or you waited too long, or you're like one thing too many that sort of created this, and you have no more energy. This is, I have no more energy to put into this thing. And so here I am sort of conserving my energy. And now I have a new understanding I'm really getting with this wand, although I know it's not a sword, but it's like an understanding that's come to you about your own ability to what you can do. And what you can do is get yourself out of something that is stagnant here, because I feel what you want is to be emotionally happy, which we all do. And at the same time, as you're turning this energy is always interconnected, is felt on the other side of your person. I don't see your person here. Okay, but I mean, I'm not done this reading, but I am getting an energy here. As you do this, your person is feeling your withdrawal here, and it creates a new energy. And so I do feel there is this inspiration to do something here, because I do feel and sense that your person understands, since we're tying back to how your person's feeling, understands you're a Queen of Cups. That makes your person feel 9 of Cups when you are able to give. You make this person emotionally fulfilled and happy. But this seems to me like you make them feel this way. Self. But how have they made you feel, And so it's like, now I realize if my person is sort of pulled away here, that there isn't an opportunity or a need, okay, I don't see which it is, for me to work on this connection, work on restoring some form of balance where it's been unjust. or doing something I haven't been able to do in the practical way to show pile number one the true intention or what I feel here. And I've been too removed or cowardly or just healing from something, or in a position where I was more of an observer for whatever reason. Six of Swords, yeah, and things got sort of stuck here. And I think you're pulling the parachute. I don't want to be stuck here, you know? If they want to be stuck here, go ahead. But I don't want to be stuck here. And maybe you had to really sort of hone your energy for some time in order to be able to make a move towards your happiness. Okay, we'll dive into the other side because I know you're here about your person, but this is how it's coming through. Like I always say, okay, re-encounters, to meet again, reconciliation, reunion, return, gathering, and end of separation. 42 and 6. So we have some Gemini and some Capricorn energy. And this is like a 3 cups. This is the reconciliation. But I feel like what this is saying is like there is an energy here that feels almost like it's either going to, because it does feel destined with the Lovers, it's either going to drift you guys apart. Okay, but if this is destined, it's like you can't break apart from something that is destined, and your person understands here that there's a need to choose differently in order for things to move. They have to face some sort of fear. And so I do feel there's a movement towards a reconciliation with you. And so to the extent, you know, it's like, this could really suck, okay? But for some of you guys, if this is an on again, off again, on again, on again, it's like, I understand now you're getting far again. I don't want to just show up because you make me feel like this. But what can this person sort of take it to the next? Because I feel like what there needs to be is growth and a movement, you know, but movement doesn't just mean reconciliation to keep things stagnant, because it could be that we reconcile and then we stay 2 swords. We reconcile and then we stay sort of where we're at. And the difficulty doesn't really resolve. It just sort of keeps popping up here with the 6 swords in the reverse. And even if it's just sort of peaceful for some time, it's like the challenge rears its ugly head. There feels to be a challenge that keeps showing up. And this seems to me like your person is like thinking like the next step, but there's no like foresight into, okay, well, what? But it's like, I need to make the effort here before pile number 1 is no longer in my world to make me feel 9 cups. But how are we going to resolve the 5 sword energy that gets the 6 sword in the reverse? Because the 6 sword in reverse means we're sort of stuck in a 5 sword energy, you know? And the 5 sword doesn't have to be like backstab and betrayal in a way that's like, well, one time. A 5 sword energy could be going as a result of it just not getting better, and like the ends justify the means, where someone is just continuously sort of stuck in an energy. It becomes a 5 sword when it's like someone else is like, well, I keep investing, or I keep showing up, or I keep requiring like some form of something in the practical world that doesn't seem to be coming, or you're withholding, or there's something here and I don't feel emotionally happy. That's a 5 sword because someone else is emotionally happy. But I do feel your person wants to reconcile or make things better. Even if you're on speaking terms, they sense you're not on your best energy with them. So it's like, I want to be on good terms with you again. Okay, but so what? Like, where is it going to go? Trust. 96 and 6, another 6. Okay, so Gemini and Capricorn energy. Like I said, the Lovers and the Devil here. So 66 is a master number. Its service is a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup, not martyrdom. So maybe you've been with this Queen of Cups in the reverse, overly invested emotionally, you know, and over invested to a point where your person's emotionally fulfilled, but at the expense of your own sort of happiness. But I don't feel this is the case anymore. I feel like you're coming into a realization of what security means to you. And I think you're choosing some form of security for yourself. And I feel like the devil, which is in the 6, is present in the 6 of Swords in the reverse and this 2 of Swords, which I do feel has been in the upright for some time. A stagnation, a stalemate that you felt you had no control over and that your person did. And now it's like I have to align with what I can trust, and I could trust myself. I could trust what feels good. And if something's not feeling fulfilling or if something feels lopsided, then I can't trust that. Now she's in the red, which is the root chakra here. The root chakra to me could talk about a need to feel stable, secure, grounded. Okay, and if we have abandonment wounds, if we have sort of blocks when it comes to the root chakra, it throws our like foundation completely off here. And I feel like there's something about connecting with this person that doesn't allow you to feel trust and secure in them and in the position and in yourself. And we can't get to a 9 of Cups if we remain in situations we can't trust. So I don't know if it's like I said, the trust in your person for some of you guys, but it's trusting the situation and the dynamic in which you're in with this person. I trust as a result of my experience, it's going to remain. It's not going to get better. This is your feelings, but like I said, I am getting your person as well here, but it's not. It could be your person's reading. Maybe they're seeing this very clearly, Here you are, pulled away. You make me happy. I see that it's in balance. I see that I haven't been giving. I have this desire to invest and reconcile with you to make things better than they are right now so that I can gain your trust again and retain you. But I don't know where they're going to take you, because I do feel there's something they're needing to face here. Broken heart. Yeah, the 3 swords I talked about already. We experienced the 3 swords. Okay, 3 swords means someone's words, actions, intentions created some form of suffering. And now I'm like reflecting, okay, because it is a sword energy. It's like the thoughts I have about what I've said or done or what someone said or done has created this heartbreak. Okay, it's being separated from the ones we love here. I feel like your person is experiencing your pull away. Okay, because I could really feel it here because you've been hurt. And I do feel you've been hurt by this person. I really feel they could sense this, especially if you resonate with, you've been very overgiving and emotionally invested here and haven't been sort of, hasn't been your person sort of stepping up to the plate. They could sense your disappointment here and they feel like, I don't necessarily feel their 3 swords, but I feel they feel fired up about this to get it better. It's like I feel the 3 swords is you. But why? Because of their 9 cups. Like it just keeps coming back to this envy. I don't know that your person here is really feeling in a way here that's like outside of a superficial sort of energy, if I have to be honest. And what I mean by superficial, it's like the immediate impact that it's having on them. You pulled away, or you, especially like I said, if you have been investing and over emotionally giving to this person. If you haven't been, then this probably isn't your reading. Okay, but what I'm really getting is you emotionally over invested, giving, caring, loving, kind, making this person feel like a pig in shit, happy, overabundant. And suddenly the faucet got turned off. And now you have your eye potentially on something else other than them. And I think the something else is in a someone, but it is what you can do. And I don't like you having any other option than the option of feeding me and my emotional happiness. That's what I want you to do. And so if you're choosing you, if you're If you're in an energy here that isn't able to give to me and this stalemate and this stuck thing, I have to do something. Yeah, that's what I see. But let's then read and close this out with a little bit more tarot to see if we could see with this person then this feeling of thinking. Okay, we're not going to get into their actions so much, but if it does pull through here, I will read it. But let's see, Spirit, for pile one, people who are resonating with this reading, their person on their mind, the pig in shit, the energy of this connection. Can we dive into it a little bit more in a way that pile one will understand? Confirm to them whether this is their person on their mind, how they're feeling and thinking about pile number one specifically at this time. Thank you, Spirit, for this message. All right. So for some of you guys, yeah, if you are separated, you're pulled away, you're sort of silent, your person is going to step up to reconcile things. But I do feel it's sort of an empty, not necessarily empty, because they do want to be on good terms with you, but empty as in it doesn't pass a certain level of motion, movement, investment. It's just to come together. It feels empty in that way, you know? 9 Pentacles in the reverse. So you either made yourself unavailable to this person. Okay, 9 Pentacles in the reverse is like, I'm not in a position to confidently make myself available to invest here because I've lost all confidence. And maybe also you've lost hope in something that maybe you're very hopeful about, because I do see the star above her head. And so I'm getting Aquarius energy. It's like I had a dream, I had a vision, I wished for something, and it was my aim. And now I can't no more, because all I've experienced here is disappointment. So you're losing hope. This could definitely be your person projecting, you know, and it could be accurate. Maybe you told them this. And so because of this, I'm inspired to come forward. And maybe you've just energetically removed yourself. And so now I need to come forward. I don't want you to be aligning your star with something else. No, no, no. Don't align your star with a different vision, a different future. Don't get empowered to do anything other than what you were doing, which was your Queen of Cups to me. Oh boy, the 4 Cups, rejected. Okay, I feel it's your person coming through, but I feel like you've gone through a 4 Cups already, which I do feel is like a disappointment, feeling rejected, and feeling like with anytime we have a 6 Pentacle in reverse, it's like I've given more, and now I'm like, I can't invest somewhere that's like lopsided and not sort of energetically feeding me. And so I feel you've gone through this, which has resulted in an Ace of Wands for you. And so you might be in better spirits, you know, better as in like more empowered to move and do something. And now it's sensed by your person. It's like, whoa, I feel rejected. You've made yourself unavailable to me now, how you might have in the past. You're not doing what you normally did do. Okay, and so I feel a type of way about this thing. And so your person's heavily thinking about you. And they're feeling rejected. They're feeling inspired to make you come back in a way here that fills their 9 Cup, 4 Swords. Healing, the 3 Sword. And this could be a period of no contact for sure, or like feeling sort of, again, like trying to recoup our energy from something. So I do feel for some of you guys, there was an experience that sort of brought you guys sort of a little bit distant, you know? Even if you're cordial, it's like the real facts of what's happened here hasn't been the same. We're not as close as we used to be. Yeah. 7 Pentacles. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Exactly what I said. Been investing and giving and caring and maintaining and practically there. It's been heavy. I've been carrying this load for very long. Your person's seeing this, you know. Knight of Wands. There's that East Wands energy. So now here I come. But like I say, where is it? Like the emptiness here, because the Knight of Wands is a fast moving energy, is like a match. It's quick to react, but then it fizzles out. There's no meat behind it. There's no substance other than sort of it fizzling out. So it could be all talk or an action that sort of wins a trust, you know? But then it needs to be sustainable. And these are sort of opposite energies. Sustainable, very long, consistent, regardless of what's sort of happening here. And this is sort of like, I'm going to act now and react in a way here and hope to get fast wins, you know? All right. Justice in the reverse. It's been imbalanced. It's been unfair. Whatever it has been, it's been unfair. And I feel it's been unfair to the person who's carrying the load, the heaviness here. Some of you guys might have a child with this person, but I don't feel this child's representing a physical baby. Okay, it could for some of you, but I feel it's the manifestation of this connection that I feel might have been sort of going, okay, but it stopped short or it got stagnant, it got stuck here. And it's like you've been maintaining this sort of birthing process of this thing that got stunted, underdeveloped here. Your person has not been there to sort of carry the load. It does feel, like I said, something karmic here, or I don't know, destined, some sort of lesson here that's being created by an experience. Okay, the Fool. I was feeling Aquarius energy, like I said. But, I mean, the Fool, to see the Fool, this is a new beginning. The Ace of Wands, like I said, was a new beginning. So your person wants a new beginning. And I think the new beginning is a retry. Because it's like, I want things to get back. But the Fool, just like this Knight of Wands, has no meat in the bone. There's no foresight. The Fool could just walk off a cliff. There is no planning. I'm going to show up again. And then what, you know? I'm going to say what I need to in that moment, because I can experience you and feel you sort of no longer wanting to sort of keep at this thing that's been exhausting and tiring for you. And you're about to give up or have given up. And now you're not available to me. And I feel rejected. Four of Wands in the reverse. So yes, this is the Four of Wands. It could symbolize a twin flame connection and union here, okay? This is commitment, coming together, marriage, celebration. It's laying the groundwork for a phase, okay, of commitment and planning and a future together. And sometimes it symbolizes communities or families getting together here, okay? But in the reverse, I feel it's like the foundation that maybe we were supposed to build, or that you thought you could build with this person. The happiness, the commitment, the coming together that maybe you held at one point in time, or that you invested in by doing all the heavy lifting and grounding this thing and sort of trying. Because I feel there's an effort and a trying. It's like I'm no longer in a position to try and carry. And so you called it quits or called it off or energetically stopped. And so now you're not showing up in the same energy. And now I feel rejected. I feel like disappointed in the fact that my 9 Cups is at risk here. And I want you to trust me. I want to gain your trust. I want to make it so that whatever did fall apart is now sort of band-aided over. 5 of Swords, but the 5 Swords still remains. And this 5 Swords, like I said, when I was tapped into the 6 Swords in the reverse, because 6 Swords in the reverse is really stuck in an energy for who knows how long, regardless of what we do, say, or have been sort of invested, that is like, it's not getting any better. And I feel it's a challenge you've been experiencing here with this person that's been the 5 Swords, even if this person's been calm, cool, and collected, or even if they've been just sort of neutral. They don't have to be outright malicious here with the 5 Swords, but the neutral energy resulted in a stagnation. It wasn't moving. The 2 Swords in the reverse, stagnant, stalemate. It's like, pick a side. Let's grow this thing. Let's plant this thing. Let's do something here. I haven't. And so you would no longer want to sit there in stagnant energy because it's creating a 5 sword in your energy. You're not a 9 cup. And you feel like your only option is to pull your energy in order to create something for you. So I do feel 2 energies here. Okay, if you're saying, well, this was mostly my energy, it's like, yes. And your person's understanding this. And your person was coming through as a person here who's wanting to smooth this over because they don't want your newfound energy that's tired, that's given up, according to them, on this thing. They want you to trust them again, probably to repeat a cycle with the Fool here. A cycle of stagnation, a cycle of disappointment. But in the moment, at least you could sort of show up and ease my 4 cup energy, So I think for this group, okay, I was just going to do feelings and thoughts, but I do feel we're going to look at this 5 sword. Okay, and then I do feel like we're going to also dive into this person's 4 cup energy. Like, what are they then going to do? Okay, I'm not going to do an extended because if you guys want to click away, go ahead. Okay, but I just feel like for this group, I want to kind of clear this up. Let's look at the 5 sword first, okay? And we'll see what your person going to do. So the 5 sword, Fool, I'm going to put it back, but again, it's showing itself. The Aquarius energy, it's like retry. I want a new beginning, but there's no foresight. I'm just going to redo something maybe I've already done, which is insanity here because there's no plan. But their intention's good because it's like I want, but it's not deep enough. And maybe it's someone who just wants to experience, in the moment thrill in some way here, or just hasn't learned, because I don't feel they've experienced what they were needing to with the Justice in the reverse. I think you experience heartache, heartbreak. This person hasn't experienced something real that's made them sort of act differently, but now it's like you're shifting the energy. So now I got to sort of get back on it. So let's see, what's the 5 sword about in the foundation of this connection, the 5 sword? Can we dive into that 5 sword? Why is the 5 sword even there to begin with? And then I'll ask about the 4 cup energy and what your person's going to do. Page of Wands in the reverse. So they haven't been invested in a way here that allows them to go after this connection. The Page of Wands sort of unturns all the rocks, explores, allows themselves to sort of go forward. They're not thinking about the what ifs, and neither is the Fool, so they're kind of similar. But what I feel with the Page here, the Page is like going to learn, and the Page is going to, like, through experience of genuine innocence and trust, and through doing, it's going to learn. Okay, the Fool can as well, but I feel like with the Fool, for me, is always sort of talking about what the major arcana is like. If the Fool doesn't go through like the universe's lessons, it sort of stays stuck at a Fool. It didn't learn. It's sort of foolish. But the Page, I think, is more practical, and the everyday is like I go through by doing, and then I learn and I see through experience. But there's something about your person sort of holding back. Okay, this is the 5 sword we're talking about. So the 5 sword is holding back. The 5 sword is also maybe a block to communication in regards to where does this person want to go? Ace of Swords, what is the truth? And like I said, it was stuck in a 2 swords. And instead of like you feeling like you have any ability to choose one of those swords, because it's really within your person, it's like it was a 2 swords in the reverse, meaning I can't do anything here with your stagnation or your indecision. I have to make my own truth. But it's all about the 1 sword, because the 1 sword is the pointed direction to the North Star. And if we're not an Ace of Swords, then we're stuck. That's a 5 sword. And you want truth, clarity, and pointed direction. You want maybe your person to say something, speak a truth, give clear answer or direction, an honest truth about maybe where they want to go. I don't know. They withheld this. 9 swords. So there's a lot of anxiety and disappointments here. Okay, because 9 swords, we're in our mind thinking about what hasn't happened, what has happened and is disappointed, or anticipating something in the future that might go wrong or has. Just like I have a lot of fears, doubts, anxieties. And this is heavy when we carry a 9 swords. Okay, and I feel with the 9 and the 1 is 10. And so I think you're saying, well, the only thing I could do is put an end to this anxiety, to the stress, to the stagnation, to this non-communication, or to this person sort of thing. But then the 5 sword is created by the anxiety. Now, is your person feeling any anxiety here? It could be. They could be anticipating something, because we want to see, why is it 5 swords to begin with, Stress, anxiety, anticipation, and past that's created some sort of limiting thought that we could have that limits our actions and our inability to move. I do feel your person's limited by something that they're thinking. Okay, 10 Pentacle. So do they have an established family situation? Okay, it doesn't have to be a husband or a wife situation so much as it is a family thing or a setup somewhere. And for some of you guys, I was picking long distance, because it could be that I have roots somewhere. I've built something here. My family is here. My friends are here. My job is here. The way that I sort of live my life is all around me, and it's stable and grounded where I'm at or how I've been doing it. But it's in a practical way. But I don't feel it's in an emotional, fulfilling way. And you might be filling this person's emotional happiness. But it's like, okay, but emotions are one thing, but are you going to pay my bill? Or like, how are we going to resolve this? There's a lot of anxiety about this. Maybe detaching from a stable, built, established family or community or practical thing that your person's been invested in for some time, maybe since birth, because it's legacies, families. Okay, it could be neighborhoods. It could be, like I said, something here. So there's a truth that comes maybe with choosing this sword that makes them have to deal with something here that they're anticipating. Lots of anxiety about. Yeah, the Devil. Okay, so more Capricorn energy. This person feels very limited and stuck here. And I feel like maybe you got chained to their devil, to this inability to move, for them to be honest and truthful with maybe their situation here. And they feel held stuck to something here. Person could be using substances as well with the Devil here, okay? Not for all of you guys, but the 9 cups for me with Devil is sometimes somebody who pacifies themselves in a way here, okay, in order to sort of get by. Maybe to silence this anxiety, 4 cups coming through again, because we were asking about this 4 cup energy. Emotionally dissatisfied in a situation that's been built, but it provides some form of practical, financial, or logistical, geographical, whatever the practical thing here is. And now I'm sort of disappointed emotionally. I don't know sort of what to do, or have a lot of anxiety about this thing. Breaking free from it, relearning, starting anew as a novice, because I have support here. And if I have to start anew, I don't know what to do. Or at least it's giving me a lot of stress about it. So I feel stuck here. 2 Pentacles. And so it could be somebody who also feels like their community or family thing is their only way for them to be standing strong. And without this, I maybe don't have money financially, or I won't have a place, or I cannot make it. I'd be too stripped thin practically. I can't sustain it. It'd be out of balance here. And so this is reflecting in an out of balance-ness between you and this person. Somebody who cannot prioritize and choose the sword and the direction. They're back and forth. They're maybe in and out like the Knight of Wands, because you make me feel good. It's a truth for sure. Emotionally happy, but it also comes with me having to deal with something that's very stressful for me. Okay, I'm talking like your person that I feel very stuck to and chained to. And this doesn't mean your person wants to be there either. They just feel chained and stuck by circumstances. And so it's like, I can't fully invest in you. I couldn't prioritize you. I was juggling you, or I just felt like I didn't have what I needed to, or have what I need to, you know? And so it's creating the 5 sword. Yeah, and the 4 of wands in the reverse again. And so therefore it fell apart, or therefore I can't build with you. And this is the families, like I said, coming together to build something here. Okay, it's like the marriage, the union, the coming together, laying the roots and being solid here. And it's like, it can't be built in a wishy-washy energy if I'm not pointed and direct in building and committing, because my energy is grounded and invested elsewhere here that's providing some form of pentacle. And now I feel stuck. And I don't think your person likes feeling in this situation, you know, but it could very well be like building some sort of thought form around this and a story around this. Like, I am nothing without it, or I have nothing without it, or I can't without it, or I'm inexperienced without it, or I can't talk about it, and I like all this sort of stuff. And this doesn't feel good, because we can stay here until it gets too loud and we have to do something and we have to deal with the truth. Otherwise, we go insane in this energy, because the only thing that's really loud is the voice. And in fact, I think your person is hearing this very loud, that they're needing to take action. They're needing to deal with this thing. And I think your person has been very, still. It feels very still. And so then the knob gets turned very loud about what's not going right here. 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, and so I haven't been able to give. And the truth of the matter is that if something is out of balance, if I can't give to you and invest in you, the reality is I got to deal with the consequences. You're going to eventually get aligned with the truth. And the truth is that you can't build something on your own that's like a marriage or like a family here alone. You have to remove yourself from this dynamic that's been unfair and unjust to you and not giving to you. So your person sees this and understands this for sure. Now, I do feel this is tied to the 4-cup energy. I don't feel we need to dive into that, but what we should see is then what is your person sort of going to do, because their feelings are very not good here, you know? So let's see. What are they going to do? And then we'll close your reading out. Spirit, thank you so much for that reading. Pile number 1's person who's sitting in a 4 cups, Devil, 9 sword energy. What are they going to do? Well, we have the 3 cups here because they want to smooth things over. We saw the Fool. They want a new beginning. An Ace of Wands. They're inspired to do something to bring you close, but to bring you close to what? A 2 sword again. Keep you in a 5 sword. We'll see. What are they going to do? Spirit, what is pile 1's person plan on doing, and why? What are they going to do in this connection, if anything at all, and why? Or are they going to do what they're going to do? Okay, a sideways card, I'm going to leave it. So we could definitely catch them. I'm going to leave this here as well. This one. 7 swords in the sideways position, which, like I say, when we catch these cards sort of turning, we could be getting a snapshot of something shifting. And we did see the Ace of Wands. Okay, because it's like a sudden sort of thing that creates and generates a movement. And so something's moving, and it's moving out of in denial, sabotage, you know, maybe trying to plan on my own with the 7 swords and not to communicate what I want or what I need to do. Or maybe I'm lying to myself or lying to you, or trying to keep 2 worlds up with the 2 pentacle. And something's got to give. I got to be honest. I got to face the truth. And I can't sabotage no more. I'm going to get out of this energy. Okay, 5 wands. Conflict, internal conflict, the angel battling with this person here. Interesting. 5 wands. Sorry, I'm just staring at it. So I feel there's something about divine guidance coming through, but is your person feeling held back from moving at this time because something feels fated? Something needs to be understood, maybe. It's like no matter what I do, I can't move forward. I feel divinely having to stay here where I don't want to stay. But that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would the divine do this? And it could be your person feeling this way, like, but it feels very real here. Okay, let's see. King of Pentacles in the reverse. So this is that energy of the 10 Pentacle and the 4 of Wands, because it's like in the 10 Pentacle, I could be this King of Pentacles. Okay, because I already have the backbone, the support of the thing. So it could be a father, or I could just feel practically full. I could be grounded here in a practical way that's established. And in order for me to be a King of Pentacle in this connection, because I'd have to create the 4 of Wands, I need to be a King of Pentacle. And I'm not feeling I could be a King of Pentacle in 2 sort of worlds. And I'd have to abandon one King of Pentacle world in order to create a new one. And I don't know that I can do this, or I'm at a point where I'm able to do this. Wow, this is getting pretty deep. Yeah, 5 Swords continues here because we're asking what's your person then going to do. 5-5. Okay, 5-5 is a master number. Change is the only constant. Divinely orchestrated change. Divinely orchestrated. They're, like I said, divinely guided by the universe to make a change and a shift. But it feels like this guidance is holding this person to something here. I don't know. This is what it feels like. And it's like, maybe face this change. Look at this conflict. Yeah, and like, I get your energy from this lady, you know? I mean, regardless of your gender here, she's just sitting here, and maybe you've been sitting, waiting, watching, observing this person battling themselves, battling the divine timing to get out of some sort of situation. It's like, I don't want to wait here no more. Watching you sort of battle yourself, or sabotage yourself, or argue with yourself, or make reasons or excuses why you cannot. But there's like something very real here on the other side that's sort of holding your person. What is this, Spirit? 7 of Cups in the reverse. So 7 Cups is the card of having a lot of options. It could be fantasies, pie in the sky, dreamy energy. Okay, it could be a lot of sort of indecision or confusion based on there being too many ways that it could go about. It's in the reverse, crossed by the 7 swords. So 7-7 is a master number. Trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, trust of self. So your person could be going through something very divine in regards to trusting themselves to make changes or to stand on their own in a practical way. And so if some of you guys are resonating with the twin flame, because we saw the 4 of Wands, I think we saw twice. Okay, this is a very strong message here. You don't have to resonate with that label so much as it is a spiritual sort of connection where there's lessons being learned, where your person is having to deal with the practicality, okay, because there is such a thing as like the practical twin or the matrix twin, the one that's in a situation that needs to learn some sort of divine lesson, trusting themselves in a practical way in order to make decisions that is aligned with truth. And they could be, you know, like risk adverse, like not wanting to sort of risk something here, and be thinking the worst with the 9 swords. I can't, it won't, you know, and maybe they've kept things sort of in fantasy here instead of making big changes and moves and being honest. It's like, if you want your dream, or if you want to choose pile 1, you have to be honest and deal with the lies or the deceptions or the self-sabotaging choices that you're making, because it creates a 5 swords. And telling yourself that you're only sort of safe and secure in a world where you're emotionally dissatisfied. Yeah, thank you. spirits. There goes my email confirming or whatever that was. Text. The world. Yeah, they need to close this out. So it's a major divinely guided experience for your person, and they're being shown, and they can't just sort of do what they always do here, because our first sort of movement is always to sort of the path of least resistance. And here I feel like Spirit is saying, no, you must deal with what you haven't in the past. You must see and honor the truth. And you can't avoid and suppress and dance around what needs to be done in your world. You have to deal with it and close out this chapter and see the truth. But you have to decide. This person has to decide. You can't decide for them. And I think it really ties into the Matrix world, you know? It's like their stability, their security, or their identity. Because for some of you guys, like I said, could be a father, could be somebody who's like looked upon in some way or contributes in some way financially, has a role in society or in a family structure that they identify with. As I'm getting heavy sun energy, which talks about the ego, and the ego is the identity we create. And so there's an understanding of an identity, an egoic version of me that has success, can commit to something here, and it's made it so that it's real, and it says who I am and supports what I do at the expense of an emotional happiness and a new sort of build that's more aligned with a future, because change is the only constant. I can't remain little. Queen of Wands, there you are. Okay. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, strong Leo, because I was feeling sun. We had a lot of Aquarius as well pulling through, and of course some Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, and lots of Capricorn was pulling through with the Devil, and some Gemini. Okay. So here you are as a divine sort of carrot, you know, the carrot that's dangling in front of this person. This person has a lot of love for you because they're pulled by your energy. And with the cups, although it was a 4 cup, it's like a love, because it's like, if I didn't feel in my soul some sort of way and pulled to your energy, then I could just sort of stay here maintaining this lie. And so there's an attraction, there's a pull, there's a destined need for them to do something here. Okay, but I do feel your person's driven by like physical here with the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Wands, you're the Queen of Wands. It's like this attraction towards being pulled to you. Okay, but you're like the other woman here, and for some of you guys this could definitely be a third party with the 10 Pentacle, and they're already King Pentacle, you know, and then the 4 of Wands in the reverse is like a marriage must end. Okay, but if you're not in the third party, because this 3 cups as well could be third party, okay, and all of this conflict and challenge and anxiety. Okay, in order to choose you, I have to deal with that situation. But if you're not in third party so much, it is a third party sort of energy of their established world, and you being the outside woman that represents the new once they close a chapter. So if they want this, they have to move beyond just this attraction to you and act and connect to something. Then maybe it's hard for them to connect to a deeper cup, you know, because to me, 3 cup, 4 cup, it's like, where's the 2 cups? Where's the King of Cups? It's like all in the practical realm. It's all the anxiety with the swords. It's all of this 9 cup energy they were feeling, which was about themselves. But there's a disconnect here, you know. This is Swords, the truth. Okay, a new beginning in truth that is caused by adversity. So we struggle, or we have challenge, or we have to go through the darkness in order for us to gain clarity in the truth. New beginning comes after we close out a cycle here successfully. Then we can have the new beginning, and there's that angel. And I think everything, like I said, stemmed from that stalemate, the 2 swords, that your person was in sort of 2 minds about something, the old world and the new world, and fence sitting here. And you said, hey, I want you to choose a sword of truth. But to choose truth, you have to deal with what's not true here. And I'm not a fantasy or just a dream. You have to make it sort of a reality in the practical way here. But you have to speak the truth and pick up that sword. 9 of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, so 9 plus 1 is the 10. So something must close in order for something to begin. Okay? And it's painful. So your person's anticipating the pain that's going to be created by risking something new in the future. But they have to move beyond this 9-sword energy, because 9-sword is just illusion. It's like the anticipation of what the worst thing that could happen. And so we fear, okay, which is that strength card in the reverse. It's like, I'm not facing my great fear. I'm not looking at it straight on to deal with it, because they're just sort of mind stories about what could go wrong, what has gone wrong, and too much anxiety about the taking action and speaking truth in the new world. And they have to overcome this. And that's what they're learning. That's what they're closing out here. And it is something that the universe is sort of working with this person to do, because I feel it is destined or karmic, whatever word you want to use, in order for them to see the truth and deal with this sort of old world. Okay, but again, we were asking what they're doing. It's like they're going through something that they are guided through. There's no real, now we have free will, of course, because your person could feel the 9 swords, they're in anxiety and insanity, and, but it's like, how much pressure will the universe put before this person sort of snaps? And so there's pressure here to pick up the sword of truth. There's pressure here to have a new beginning. There's pressure here to deal with what is untrue in their world. There's pressure here to get out of some sort of fantasy, dreamy state that your person has about maybe, I don't know, some ideal thing of how they want their world to be that's maybe very safe. But I do feel your person wants to align with you. I do feel your person's pulled to you. I do feel like your person has to deal with something that's not straight up in their world here, but it's internal right now. And that's where it's at. An internal conflict, anxieties, feeling stuck. It's untrue. It creates sabotage. And then their world around them gets more difficult. And so I do feel like wherever they're at is 5 swords with you. And I also feel it's 5 sword in their world, even though it was a 10 pentacle. It's a 5 sword. And the 5 sword is like, I got to escape it somehow. And I got to change. I got to get with the times in order to escape the 5 sword. I must deal with the 6 swords moving. I can't keep it stuck. And so I feel like right now it's a 5 sword all around, and it's pressure from the universe. That's what this angel pushing back. It's like, stay in the 5 swords, stay in the 5 swords, stay there until you use your free will to say, it's not working. I got to be honest. I got to deal with this. I have to choose the truth. And the truth is a new beginning, where my happiness is, or where I'm being pulled and called. Now whether you want to be with them or not is up to you. But I do feel this person had an opportunity to build a 4 of Wands and be sort of a committed partner to you. And the anxiety got the best of them. Their experience of the old world is sort of keeping them in a lie here. But it's like, I don't want to lose you. I want you to sort of, I don't know, maybe they're trying to keep you there with them, while they stay. That's the 7 cup energy. Stay in this situation because they believe in something that's untrue, that they can't when they break out of this, or a 2 pentacle. They won't be able to maybe support you or be, I don't know, someone here that you could rely on, or even someone they could rely on or build with. And they got to abandon something here, and it's too risky, or I don't know, something like this. Okay. So, wow. Deep reading, pile number 1. I hope this helped you. I love you so, so much. If you're pulled to another one, I will see you there. All right. Bye-bye. Hello. Pile number 2. You guys picked a Spirit Speak Tarot deck. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Thank you so much for joining me. We're looking at the person on your mind and how they're thinking and feeling about you. And like I said, sometimes the energy is reversed. If this is your energy, you don't have to listen. You can go to another pile. Okay, I'm going to read it exactly as it comes through here. And we're asking Spirit for clear and concise message regarding the person on your mind right here, right now, what they're feeling and thinking about you in this connection. Thank you so much, Spirit. And thank you so, so much, pile number 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'd like to take this time to thank your higher self, your spirit team, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, and of course, Spirit, for this act of divination. Thank you so, so much. Pile number 2 is person on their mind, person they came here about. What are they feeling and thinking about pile number 2 specifically at this time, Spirit, for the greatest and highest good of this connection? Please protect me and the viewer in this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and the highest good. of pile number 2 and the person on their mind. Thank you so much, Spirit. And thank you so much, pile number 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. Let's pull some oracles as well regarding pile number 2, person on their mind, feelings, thoughts. Spirit, please help me to channel in a way that pile 2 will understand what is being communicated. All right, we'll pull one of these. All right, I feel there's one more. For pile number 2, person on their mind. All right, let's take a look. So, bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. I don't read the bottom of the deck reverse. So, steady and reliable, but very slow. Stuck at times with the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, but if there's one knight that's going to get her done, is the Knight of Pentacles. Very real. Gets it done. Very slow, though. You see the eye, which is the intuitive eye here. So it's giving me High Priestess energy, something about the intuition or seeing something clearly. Okay, 9 Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, let's flip them before I start to channel. Judgment, Queen of Cups. So we have some Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. 10 Wands in the reverse. 5 Pentacles, although look at the scene, it looks like a 5-cup scene. I'm getting both 5-cup, 5 Pentacle from this. I'm getting your energy very strong from this. Okay, yeah, the Magician in reverse, Virgo, Gemini. And then the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. It's a very clear message coming through already. Good news. Pleasant announcement, encouraging message, open dialogue, healthy talk, positive information, joyful communication. Type 4, the individual is an emotional center between lack and abundance. So we have 4 energy, which is Scorpio and Aries energy here. 4s are all about structure, foundation, stability, and planning. 3 Pentacles is definitely this planning energy. Okay, let's keep going. We have 80 and 8, revenge, willingness to harm, couple crisis, revenge, conflict, dispute, payback time. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. I feel this is sort of a karmic payback in some way here. Okay, I'll explain in a minute. So we have some Leo and some Aquarius energy pulling through and some more Scorpio, strong Scorpio energy. I'm feeling motherhood, being pregnant, giving birth, maternity, adopting, giving life, childbearing. 83 and 2. Here's that 2 energy I was feeling with the High Priestess. Okay, but 2s are all about balance, duality, choices. And I'm getting the Empress energy from this motherhood. Okay, Taurus, Libra energy. And then we have the 3rd chakra, Archangel Chamuel. And so the 3rd chakra is the solar plexus. Okay, so this is like the confidence, and it could be our will. Okay, it could be pride. It could be the ego. It could be our identity. Let's see what we have. So give me a minute just to tap into all this. Yeah, there's the devil under that. So the devil sometimes could represent the ego, okay, because it's a shadow. We have shadow here with this darkness, with the Scorpio energy, which is more the Pluto I was feeling here with this devil, but it is Capricorn. Okay, and then the 9 Pentacle in the reverse, and then the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, just give me a second here. Okay, pile number 2. This is what I said to pile number 1. Yesterday I recorded and I finished pile 1, and I got a little bit into your reading, the first sort of round, and this is the same energy. It is the same yesterday. Okay, so it tells me that there is very accurate, though. I wanted to read it independently, but pile 2 was tied to 1, and guess what? This is definitely tied to pile 1. And some of you guys might have been pulled there, okay? And I'm not trying to get you just to watch that. But if you're going to watch a pile, go watch one. If you can only watch one, okay? Because it is your energy here. Now, you can flip it for sure, and this could be your person. But this is the person dealing sort of with the energy there with pile one. Okay, and one started with your energy. I know that sounds confusing. I'm not trying to be confusing at all, but this is exactly how it's coming in. I'm not seeing two people here. I'm seeing one, and I do feel it's you. Okay, but now I will channel this. Okay, I feel you're a beautiful divine empress. And what is an empress? It's not gender-based, but it is an energy here of stepping into our power and our ability to give love unconditionally, but it doesn't mean to sell ourselves, but to love unconditionally means to choose how it is that we give and engage with love from a place that isn't out of anger, isn't out of ego, isn't out of a need for transaction. Okay, I feel like what Spirit is talking about is lessons being shown and learned to you about how to love. But love doesn't necessarily just mean how to give endlessly to someone else. It's how do I love myself enough? How do I work with truths that I can't maybe necessarily see in the 3D, but intuitively I'm being called to learn and understand. And until I learn and see and understand, there is this sort of difficulty. And the difficulty is in my inability to create a future here that's confidently in line with my own power to step in and build something worth having for myself, where I don't need someone maybe to prop me up or make me feel like then I'm of value. And I feel like there is this heaviness here of having to deal with the devil, which is I have a way of engagement that keeps me feeling very stuck and chained to certain things that might not necessarily be healthy for me. And since we're doing the thing about this reading, it could be that, or this connection, it could be that this connection was something that is sort of unhealthy. Why is it unhealthy? Well, it's unhealthy because it's not letting me manifest in line with truth, in line with my confidence, in line with this divine empress in her full capacity. And maybe it's requiring me really to take a look at how I give love to myself and maybe how I engage with boundaries and what do boundaries actually mean. And I'm not talking about just blocking someone out because they're not doing what I need them to do. They're not transactioning with me or propping me up or making me feel a certain way. And so now I have a boundary or I'm trying to force an outcome or I'm trying to do something in order for someone to be different or act different. But what does boundary look like? Boundary means what? It means about my own energy, managing my own energy, and how I give love, how I see love, how I engage with love, and the confidence in myself, not from a pride place, not from an egoic place, but from a place that allows me to be in line with the manifestations of things that are more healthy and don't hold me back and don't make me feel blocked. So I feel like you're overcoming or have been working through, and I think you're going to see very soon, if you haven't already, the truth more clearly than you have been about your situation. Okay, now, does this mean you and your person are going to come together forever because you're seeing something here? It could be, for sure. Whatever was meant to sort of flow next is going to flow next. I feel that very strongly. I feel like you're working through the surrender process, and it might have been very challenging. How do I surrender? It's been very heavy. It's been very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. And I think you got through the hump of the difficulty, although I think you're still empty-handed. I think your experience has been challenging. I think you had to sort of come to terms with some unpleasant hitting rock bottom within this connection, even if your whole life is sort of going tickety-boo and everything's good. It's like in this connection, there is nothing I was able to sort of do but surrender. I had to get through the difficulty of something or see something or understand something about love, about how I can give love. And it's very tied to the intuition, like I said. And so it's like learning to read my own intuition or navigate with things that I can't necessarily touch and feel, but know inside. And it's tied to how I give love. And it could really be tied to, an upbringing here, a parental figure, a mother figure. Okay, but it's like however I was brought up, or however it was that I established how to give love and what love meant and that sort of thing, has created a version of me. And that version of me could have been someone who had to deal with abandonment wounds, or somebody who thought of some idea of what stability and security looks like. Because I feel like there's something about stability, security, groundedness, feeling safe, and maybe it was like very transactional. It's like, I need safety, I need security, I need something here in order to make me feel safe, secured, and loved. And it's like, I give away this power when I think I can't make myself feel loved or secure. And I might give it away to situation, circumstance, or maybe this person or people in general, in order to bring me this in which I can't make on my own. How do I learn about this? It's like, because within me, I feel I can't, or I feel disappointed. I feel let down. I feel rejected. I feel hurt. I feel in the cold. I feel a whole bunch of ways when this engagement with whoever I'm trying to deal with here doesn't make me feel secure, doesn't make me feel a certain way. Now, does this mean I got to feel unloved and unsecure in relationships, and then that's the only way to sort of be in truth? No, but it's saying there was a lesson to be seen and understood about your own strength and how to give love from a place that's unconditional. And I feel like something was very transactional in how you were engaged until you surrendered. And the only way to surrender is to make things sort of difficult here, not as a challenge, but as an act of empowerment. So you could see a greater truth about your own power, about your own ability to break free from things that cannot hold you back. So I think you're over the hump. I think good news is coming, and feels very tight to one, because I do feel one, your person's energy is sort of in the back end there. And I feel like maybe it's like what you were trying to get this person to see or understand, which is still very true. I think you might hear from that person, or things, I feel the tables have turned and spirit is recognizing you're surrendered. It's like, okay, now we're entering a new dawn. Now we're entering where the tables are turning, and where the karmic sort of wheel, if you will, was in action, and maybe you were on the bottom end of it, and now it's sort of switching, and now whatever has transpired is now rolling out. Payback time, and I don't think it's payback as an evil. I think it's karma and energy balancing out, because naturally, and not through force, not through an egoic sort of need, but through an organic process of shifting and realizations and understandings and surrender and challenge and difficulty and feeling stuck and all of this stuff has created an energetic signature that needs to balance out in some way here. And I think it's falling sort of on the other person. So I feel like you're on the upswing here. I do feel if you're in a no contact, you're going to hear from your person here. Okay, now it says good news, pleasant announcement. I don't think necessarily it means you got to go deal with your person in a way here that puts you in any sort of position to feel devil. But I feel the good news is like things have changed for me. I maybe not in the same sort of bottom position or feel helpless or hopeless as I once did, or I don't have to carry the same burden I used to. And so now I hear differently, I see differently, I understand differently. I'm able to talk with this healthy talk. It's no longer with this devil. And so I can speak truthfully without maybe feeling, I don't know, like I'm abandoning myself, or like feeding the fuel of the devil, feeding that maybe the toxicity, or whatever word you want to put with this devil, the shadow part that kept me feeling stuck and chained. I no longer feed that. And so it's not saying that you were the only sort of challenge here. or the cause of the conflict, but it is saying that in order to create a dynamic, it takes two, and you're one side of this equation for sure. And the only energy that you can manage and maintain is your own. You cannot do anything for anyone else. And the decisions that you make and the things you do and say, okay, like you're in the driver's seat of what you can say and do. Only you. And so nobody can make you feel sort of certain ways. Yes, they can act in a certain way and you can intake it, but whatever sort of happens is in your own power. And I feel you felt powerless. But now it's like I'm able to openly disengage because I've surrendered from an unhealthy way of engagement that made me feel powerless. I lack confidence in my ability to maybe stand behind myself or love myself or put a boundary up about what it was that I needed or wanted in a healthy, true way. And so I feel like the crows have come home to roost, or whatever you want to call it, because I feel like the foundation has been laid in a connection here where you have seen something and understood something through a very painful process, which has made you surrender here. And I feel you can't no more create something where there's a truth that limits your build. And the truth is that in order to build something that could stand the test of time that you want, because I feel this is something that you're saying, I need to have the other side sort of cooperate and work with me to build something here. And I can't lie to myself, or I can't be the only builder. And maybe that was the thing, is like I'm overinvested emotionally in something lopsided or stuck, and I'm feeling chained to this, giving to something that it felt like it couldn't work with me, or I couldn't manifest there. And it's like I could see it now, or I understand it now, intuitively it's clear to me, is that for me to get a pentacle build, I have to sort of lean into my own energy here. And so I can't help but notice that there's, like, yes, we see dollar sign, but it sort of feels like a 4 pentacle here in this 3, because I do feel there was a stuckness. And so I feel like either you were hanging on to something unhealthy, not trusting to surrender, to let go and to manifest the new, because there might have been sort of an attachment to the past. And I do feel it was stemmed from some sort of abandonment or some sort of a unhealthy way of loving, an understanding you might have had based on what it means to be safe and secure. And it's like I said, like, it's like maybe looking at it as some sort of transaction that you're supposed to attain from an outside source. It's like, no, because all this did was make me face some sort of reality here. And so the reality is that there is no transaction that's coming from an outside world that's going to empower you to make decisions and actions. And only you can sort of pick up your own manifestation, your own confidence, and your own ability to create stems with you. But first you must sever the tie with this devil. And I don't know, this connection does sort of represent the devil-y thing here, And so back to this good news. I do feel like the good news is the shift of energy. I feel like your internal self, your intuitive self, or your guidance system here is sort of showing you something that's better than where you've been. And the shift of the energy is like, well, now the foundation has been laid. The path is opening to the new here and breaking from this devil. And I think you're amidst this whole thing. Okay, so I'm reading it like it was you. Like I said, if it's not you, then stop listening here. You don't have to keep listening and then say it's not you, or say it was about you and you want your person. Okay, well then go. So let's see. Let's take a look at pile number 2's person on their mind then. Can we get more about what pile number 2 needs to know about the person on their mind? I was going to ask about the other person, but I'm just going to read it like this, okay? The pile number 2, person on their mind. Can we get more about this person? What they need to know. Everything they need to know about the energy surrounding this connection. Person on their mind, feelings, thoughts. And what does the pile 2 needs to know, Spirit? Please help me to channel in a way, pile 2 will understand. Thank you so much. I do feel this over here. Okay, we have a card in sort of the sideways position. So things are shifting and changing for sure here. And I think we're amidst some sort of transition. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck yet again. And we shuffle that. Something solid. Page of Pentacles. There's that new beginning, but it's something actually in the 3D. Okay, something that is practical here that we can actually have. So you're breaking free from the devil, I feel, in order to create something. And I do feel it's something you've been intuitively guided to create. Okay, eggs talk about new beginnings as well. Something's hatched here. I think you could see it clearly. Also, something about communication keeps coming through. And so if your desire is something to be revealed or seen within this connection, I mean, you're here. It is seen and understood. I feel your person is sort of seeing something, you know, the shifts or the tide has changed. I think you will hear from your person, whether you want to or not is sort of irrelevant, because maybe you just want closure. Maybe you just want to know that they know or see, you know, but whatever you decide is still up to you. But there's something about your person coming forward with some form of communication. Okay, Knight of Swords in the reverse. So the Knight of Swords in the reverse can mean a need to deal with something or confront something, but we maybe avoid. Okay, it's an avoidance energy, but it could be a flurry of activity and then it sort of goes silent. So for some of you guys, like I said, there might have been an argument or one thing too many with the 10 wands in the reverse. It's like I hit my breaking point. One argument too many. Or you reacted, and not you, but like your person reacted in some way, said some things, came in with a flurry, created a ruckus, and then left and fucked off, you know, and you had to clean up the mess. And it could be a flurry of something like this, you know, or they avoided and delayed so long. They were needing to talk about or confront. They just didn't. They ran, they skirted the issue, and you were left to pick up the pieces. And it just showed you something here. It showed you to the point where you just 10 wands and broke. And sometimes we got to break in order to make change and shift and see your own strength and have confidence in ourselves, you know. I think you can see now and understand now. It's like what I can see is where opportunity is. And what I can see is where opportunity is not, or where something is stuck. King of Wands in the reverse. So there's a big energy of cannots here, you know. And lack of confidence in something, because the King of Wands does believe in an ability to do and accomplish anything he kind of wants to. But the Magician in reverse, the King of Wands in reverse, could mean a lack of confidence in oneself to create something or build something. Now, I'm feeling your person's energy interesting because it's sort of shifting here. The Magician in reverse and the King of Wands in the shadow could be somebody is sort of manipulative in a way here that's very much about themselves. Now, they could have lacked confidence for sure, but with the solar plexus, it could be someone in ego. So much so, okay, but it's like your person's ego and their shadow or whatever it is needing them to confront something and deal with something that they'd rather avoid or have been avoiding or skirting. And I do feel like there's an opportunity within this connection to speak something or to see some sort of great truth. And your person has been too much in the shadow here. And it's like the tables are turning in order for your person to sort of see this thing. Okay. Now, if your person isn't in the arrogant, sort of shadowy part of manipulating sort of the energy towards some sort of thing that they're trying to upkeep, it could be that their person's really underneath it all, either which way, lacking confidence. Okay, because even if they're showing an arrogance, it's like still a lack of confidence in something here that, I don't know, like, again, it's like a challenge for this person to be relied upon or to open up the door to this opportunity or this potential here. They've been avoidant of this thing. Okay. Three Swords. So there's the straw that broke the camel's back. The pain got too loud. Someone's words, actions, intentions created suffering, and maybe we've been band-aiding it too long, and the band-aid just didn't hold, So there's definitely pain here that's created. Yeah, the Wheel of, remember I said the wheel's turning the opposite way. Now, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse could mean things feel very much stuck or out of our hands, and it's like, it's all starting going to shit. Can't do anything about this. So I do feel like you have to hit this point of like, I got to surrender. Because when it's like this, it's like, I can't do anything. I got to surrender. And also, I feel like maybe you felt, and I know this is about your person's feelings, which I'll get into as long as it comes through here. But what I'm really feeling now is like, what happened to you, I feel like you have to hit a point karmically or destiny through a lesson of the judgments to see something in which something couldn't move. And it could not move, no matter what you would do or say or whatever, to show you that it's not an egoic doership of anything. Okay, we saw the hand and the card over here, which I was talking about, like boundaries or what you could do. And it's like, you have to understand what is within your ability to do and say and what's not. But I feel like maybe you really lost a lot of confidence in yourself because of this experience and this pain and the suffering, And then you're like, well, it's stuck here. It's not moving here. It's not going to work here. It's again, the 5 Pentacle, the 5 Cup energy I was feeling, the 3 Sword, like that's very heavy. The 10 of Wands, like there's no other out about surrender. It's stuck. This person's not moving. This person's not confident, and you're feeling this, okay? But I do feel your person's energy coming through because it feels to me like the tables have turned. And your person feels a 3 Sword energy when it comes to understanding how they enacted with you was sort of cowardly here. And knowing that there is this real opportunity here, but it requires a need to be honest, and a new beginning to sort of hatch here would require them dealing with this. Okay, but I feel, it's so tied to one because there, hopefully you watched this, like the divine angel was sort of holding this person. So it's like, this is this. The divine says, nope, no movement until something gets seen and understood. No matter how painful it is, you must go through that experience because that is the agreement or that is the understanding you must have. And I will hold you there, And I'm seeing this sort of fox looking like thing, which is a 7 swords. That's again, pile 1, 7 swords. It could be a way that we sort of avoid and create some form of self-sabotage, by like just avoiding things we need to deal with and look at, which I feel your person is healing. To dealing with fears, which could lead to, again, with all the stars, is like their future build. Happiness, a dream of some sort of future that they could align with, but they have to heal and they have to deal with their 7 sword energy, which I do feel is tied to the ego or the confidence or the solar plexus, and maybe how they deal with trusting themselves to take action on things or to have vision they could follow up on. Because it feels to me like your person's sort of just rolling over, maybe saying, if they're not the manipulative sort of kind here, it's like rolling over saying, I can't, the universe has the wheel, I'm sort of stuck here and I can't create and manifest with the magician in a practical way something I want, something that I can have a vision with. I just sort of give up. And then I'm sort of looking on the outskirts, sad about it, saying I can't and I won't. Woe is me. And Spirit saying, no, you can and you will. And there's something here. You must see, you must learn, you must engage. Don't just roll over. And that could be the 10 of Wands in reverse. It was too heavy. And then I just sort of gave up, on building something here. So I feel the disputes, the 5 sword it created. I do feel a lot of you guys might have had arguments about this, or if it's not directly about this, it's like many arguments, but the root is really the main problem here with your person who is incapable here of building something because of the lack of confidence in their ability to envision what they want and create it and manifest it and go upon this opportunity. 3 cups in the reverse. So I do feel for some of you guys, like I said, you might be on no talking terms. I do feel your person wants peace and your person wants to bridge this gap. But I think they want to bridge the gap because it's too painful to be on the outskirts here, experiencing being shut out. But I don't see in deeper past this, So it's like, how do I deal with this? Well, I got to reconcile. I got to come communicate with you. But it's like a 3-cup. Where's it going to go? Where's this future? Where's your confidence in building something? Is it going to go further than this sort of communication from a page talking about what could be, but it never sort of becomes, 7 Pentacle in the reverse. I feel you sort of surrendered, or at least no longer investing heavy. Because this is the juice worth the squeeze, the effort and the investment that I've been making over time. And if we just say, you know what, it's not worth it. I can't keep carrying this burden, which I feel you've surrendered. Because I do feel it's been lopsided. I do feel you've been maintaining this connection or whatever you have been doing in a practical way, only to leave you empty-handed, tired, exhausted, and pained, feeling without. It didn't happen. We didn't maybe even come together here. And maybe you wanted some form of a reconciliation, even, okay? But this sort of shift is what's creating the shift in your person's energy. 7 Cups. So a lot of this sort of energy came out for pile 1. Okay, and so I do feel from you, it's like, I don't want to feed into an illusion. I don't want to feed into something open-ended. I don't want to feed something that isn't clear. It sort of can go any which way. And maybe you felt like a fantasy dream for this person, but it was like not real, not tangible, not solid here. It's like, I don't want to feed this. I don't want to stay in that disorganization or feed this person's illusions, But I do feel like you had a vision and a dream of something that you thought could happen here. But I do feel you've accepted some sort of painful truth in order to abandon this sort of idea so that you can build something. And it's shifted your person's energy. Okay? And the Magician in reverse. So Virgo, Gemini, and Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. I feel like things are in motion in this connection for sure, even though the Wheel of Fortune is in the reverse for you. I feel like you're picking up your energy, shifting it in a way that you can actually create something aligned with what you want, that's not devilly, that's not feeling stuck for you, because I think you don't want stuckness. This creates 3 swords for you. And so you're saying, I want to choose and do something that I can do, and that's what I'll align with no matter how painful, because this is stuck. And so you're sort of severing this, okay? And your person, as a result of this, I feel they're being called to be the magician, to deal with this. And they're sort of in the transition of this because they haven't decided or said or done. But I do feel they're coming with some sort of revelation or understanding that they can see now and understand now that they have to accept. Now, we don't have to do anything, but it's either that or suffer. It's either that or stay little. And there's one thing that is for sure, is like change is the only constant. The wheel keeps on moving. It's like, let's say we stay still forever. It's like the house will eventually fall away and we're out in like tornadoes and rain and snow. It's like we can't stay. We need shelter. We need to build. We need to move. There's a movement that has to happen eventually because change is the only constant. They can't stay put. And they can't avoid, and they can't run, and they can't sort of just keep dealing in the same way. There's something that really needs to be healed and looked at that's been a long time coming for this person, because payback time means what? Karma's here for them to deal with this thing. And I think it goes beyond you. And it could really dive into how they deal with relationship. They could push a lot of people out. They could not know how to get beyond a 3-cup. They could be somebody who just copes in a way here that's like, I don't know, like very superficial. Maybe they have way too many superficial friendships, or they just keep busy with a lot of people, or they seclude themselves, remove themselves completely, and not know how to engage in relationship. Maybe they keep relationships sort of as a fantasy that's not really for them, and they could sort of, there goes my email. So for a lot of you guys, that could definitely be the thing, is like I keep relationships sort of superficial here as a dream, but I don't make it a reality, and I stay where I'm at. I stay stagnant and stuck. I avoid. I don't have confidence to sort of or make it happen in the real world. So I don't ask you out. I don't say how I feel. I sort of maybe, I don't know, be cowardly about this thing and keep it sort of as an illusion here. And you're like, no, manifest it in the 3D. Don't keep it 5D. Tell me, do something, speak a truth, act upon it. Have a vision and then act upon it, secure it. Like, do something. And the person hasn't done something here. And I think you wanted to birth it. Like 3 Pentacle, it takes 2. Let's birth this thing. Let's create this thing. Let's give it life. And I feel like you said enough, and now it's turned. So let's just close this reading out and see, well, what's turned with the other person then? Okay, now you can go watch number 1 because I feel that they're very tight, although they do sort of support each other here. I should check my thing just in case. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry. So let's see. Pile number 2's person, the King of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, and that Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Can we dive into that a little bit more? Is that the other person here? What's going on with that energy? Death in the reverse, yeah. So it's like I'm hanging on to the dead cat, the dead dog that needs to be buried. I'm hanging on to it like it's going to somehow have life here. I don't want to part with it. So I'm resisting the change. I have 1 foot in the old world, and the old world is rejecting me. It's requiring me to accept change, and I'm resistant and dragging around this dead dog in the Hierophant. So I have a family situation or a setup, some sort of Hierophant, okay? So these are traditions, beliefs, something of value that I've been believing to be what I needed to feed or give to. And there's a shift and a change here that's requiring me to release old thought structures and forms and deal with something here. And I feel like your person has not been able to commit to the new. And so maybe that was the challenge with you. It's like, commit to some new future or building with me or working with me. It's like, no, I'm committed to this other thing here, but it's something that needs to be looked at honestly and openly, not with 7 swords. Okay, cactus. So something very prickly here that's challenging. And I do feel like the cactus talking about like desert environment, it's like it's lacking water. So wherever they're at is like it's trading their emotional satisfaction. It's dry. I'm not emotionally sort of fulfilled. It's doing something for them for sure. It could definitely be like the way I was brought up to believe something here or to do something here. I believe it so much that I'm like hanging on to it at all costs, because sometimes the Hierophant in the reverse doesn't necessarily mean it's like going against tradition so much as it is I'm so attached to this belief, come hell or high water, that I walk off the cliff. I believe in it so much, even if it's so doesn't make any sense. And this thing doesn't make any more sense. But I'm sort of, I don't know, like I really believe that I got to be attached here, or like, die with this plan or something until the truth is revealed. So Taurus, Scorpio energy. Yeah. And now I got to deal with the reality of the consequences. 5 cups. Disappointed because I'm experiencing a loss here. Now 5 wands. I'm conflicted. I'm challenged. 5 is a master number. What is it? Change is the only constant. Divinely orchestrated change. Meaning the universe is forcing change upon me, not because I don't have free will, but because the universe is always in motion. Things are always coming, going, manifesting, in existence, out of existence. It's always changing and shifting, just like this body dies eventually. Okay, and so there's these 3D things that happen to create shifts and change. And I cannot stay stagnant. I have to welcome and shift. And I'm resistant, and I'm conflicted about what it means, and I'm sad, and I feel like your person could be sad about what they'd have to lose or leave, but I feel there's a sadness here because I feel like there's a reality that there's a 2 cups, there's a reality here, but I feel like your person is more with this, My goodness. The skull and crossbones is giving me the devil energy, okay? The Capricorn energy, but I'm also feeling the Scorpio energy, which is this death and this need to deal with a shift and a change and a release. Okay, and we're also seeing it with the 3 cups here, which we had with your person in the reverse, because I think the way your person's been dealing with change and shifts might be very uncomfortable for this person, because they might be very used to some form of tradition or something, the way it was or the way they believe it has to be, so much so, and I think they cover it up with this 3 cup energy, however they do it, because for some of you guys, like I said, it's like just engage superficially with like networks of people and keep sort of the energy sort of in motion, but it's not really deep or going anywhere. And for others, it's like shutting themselves out of like engaging or dating or like getting to understand or let people in here in order to gain the 2 cups. And that's been my MO, and that's been what I've done here. And it's like, no, Spirit's saying no more of that. Change. You must, in order for you to experience 2 cups. And not that everyone needs to be in a relationship, but it's like an experience. Doesn't mean you have to choose it, but you experience so you actually know what you want. But it can't be from trauma. You can't be choosing unconsciously from a trauma or from an in denial or a 7 sword, which is a lie. So once you actually see what a 2 cup is and a 3 cup, then you can decide what you want. But not from a place of toxicity and devil, because your person is choosing from a devilly place in order to protect themselves and to hang on to what is here. Okay, and I feel it's created a lot of challenge with you. Yeah, this is so tied to 1, the Page of Wands in reverse again. So in order for them to like be open to this, they have to be a Page of Wands. They have to start as a Page of Wands. And there could be a lot of lack of confidence. It's like, I don't want to start over, or I don't want to be a novice, or I don't want to have to experience like not knowing and uncovering and going through something where there could be challenge. I don't know exactly what might happen here. And so I just don't do it. I don't say it. I don't explore it. And I stay where I'm at because I might be anticipating the worst, So I just don't do it. The Lovers. So very destined. I need to choose the Wand of Exploration. So a conscious choice, and your person hasn't been choosing this connection. Like I say, they don't have to choose the connection, but it's like choosing the truth so that they can choose whether they want to invest or commit in this connection. And they can't choose and see clearly if they're too focused on what the loss would look like and building that up like a loss. There's a loss in my world that I have to part with and change and shift. And I see it as something here. And so I can't make myself available. I can't go down this other path. I can't experience the 2 cups. Okay, for some of you guys, they're in a family situation or another partnership here. It's like they've committed themselves to this and it's been long dead under the water. It's not even emotionally fulfilling here, according to these cards here. Okay, or else we wouldn't be conflicted at all. Then look at her eyes. She's looking east and west. I'm looking at one and I'm looking at the other. It's like the past and then the future. And as long as I have my feet in sort of dabbling in the past and the future, I'm conflicted and I'm torn here. And in one, there was 2 swords. Again, we can't be of 2 swords. We have to choose either the future, or we could stay sort of mulling over the disappointments of the past, pretending it's something. And Spirit's saying, no, like you're destined to move. 10 of Wands. Yeah, so we need to surrender. What's your person going through? I feel your person is carrying the burden of the past, the weight. And we can only carry this until it snaps. And I feel like you've gone through your 10 Wands. You've already surrendered. You've gone through the understanding. You can't be stagnant. Attach yourself to this person's devilly shadow, because then you're attached to their past. That's giving them this thing. And so you've come to terms with something. And now this puts sort of the energy pressure on this person. They have to deal with carrying this because they're choosing to be attached to the past. They're the ones choosing this. They might not feel like they are, but they're choosing this by the energy in which they're in. Okay, but again, like I say, if we're not conscious, which I don't feel your person is, because the wounding or the energy is very strong in what they've experienced to create a reality that isn't in truth. So that's the thing that they're acting upon, but it's not really choosing in truth. Because if this person was to see the truth, they'd say, well, yeah, release what no longer serves. The dead dog has maggots. There's a new opportunity and I can move anew. But of course, we must mourn what was. And the only thing we're really mourning is a memory of something we're attached to, So, yeah, new beginning. So they're being called to choose themselves when it comes to a new beginning in love, to be emotionally happy, because I feel like there's a sacrifice here your person is making in order to sort of stay attached to some story of the past, and it's giving up their emotions. And we can only do that so much. We're not robots. Stay in an unemotionally dry situation that's prickly and lacking, and it's already shifted, it's died, it's lived its best days, and this is why they're conflicted, because the Spirit's saying, well, you could stay here and pretend that the dead dog will come alive, or you can pick up the wand and make a conscious choice to choose the wand that you haven't chosen up until now, to explore this 2 cups and have a new beginning. That's your burden. You can carry it as long as you want until you surrender to the truth. And the truth is there's a new beginning, or they could be 1 cup, and I do feel you're this other cup here that they can experience, but they're too busy looking towards the things not working here. Okay, so they're on the path of surrender here. Pile number 2, this is your reading. I do suggest you listen to 1 because it feels to me like the exact same connection that I just channeled. Okay, hopefully 3 and 4 are different, but I haven't recorded yet. So beautiful angels, we have Gemini, and we have Scorpio, we have Taurus. Okay, and then like I said, we have Leo, Aquarius, Pisces, and Libra. And yeah, I said Aries and Scorpio. Okay, so this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. All right, bye. Hello, beautiful pile number 3. You guys picked the Crow Tarot. I can't wait to get into your reading. I sure hope it's different than 1 and 2. As in a different connection, because I do feel 1 and 2 are connected. So we're looking at the person on your mind, okay, and how they're feeling and thinking of you at this time. And you guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. And if this sounds more like your thoughts and feelings, then you can listen, or you can go to another pile. I can't control how it comes through here, okay? My intention is to read the person on your mind and who you came here about. And you can definitely have the power to click away if you're not wanting to hear about this person or whatever it is that I'm about to channel. Okay, so clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. I feel it's fun for pile number 3. Pile number 3, person on their mind, person they came here about. And what is this person feeling and thinking about pile number 3 specifically? Their thoughts, their feelings. At this time, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Pile 3, I'd like to take this time to thank you, your higher self, and your angel team, your guides, your ancestors, and Spirit for this act of divination. Thank you so much, Spirit. Please help me to channel in a way that pile number 3 will understand what's being communicated about the person on their mind, their feelings, and their thoughts at this time. Thank you so much. So we'll pull from 2 oracle packs, and then we'll get into your reading. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. What is it that the person they came here about is feeling and thinking at this time? Okay. I just heard mirroring. So maybe they're feeling what you're feeling. Let's see. Here, we're getting 2s and 2s here. If it's a blended energy, you'll just have to identify who you are, okay? I'm just saying. Queen of Swords. Alrighty. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Under that, we have 6 Pentacles in the reverse. Interesting. Hopefully all 4 piles aren't the exact same energy that I'm tapped into. We'll see. Compassion. 98 and 8. So love for the other. Feel the pain, goodness, mercy, human-centered, being kind-hearted. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive, centered between strength and weakness. So we have some Leo, Aquarius, and some Scorpio here, and Pluto energy. And we have the green, which is the heart chakra. Beautiful. 16 and 7. Cancer energy, Tower energy as well. It says future, forthcoming, tomorrow, ulterior, destiny, prospect, and afterwards. Type 7, the enthusiast thinking center between pleasure and pain, which ties back to compassion with this unconditional love with the green. Okay. And then we have the door to spirit. Beautiful. We have the dove, which talks about peace. 32, which is the number 5. 5 is all about change. It's all about rebuilding, but it's also about conflict. Okay. It's about adventure, innovation, freedom, but it's challenge. Okay. And then we have the man holding a heart. 45, or the number 9. Okay. I just want to see what's under this 6 of Pentacles. We have the Fool, Aquarius energy. Okay. Can you guys see? Yeah. All right. 10 Cups in the reverse. The King of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. 5 Wands in the reverse. 2 Pentacles in the reverse. The Empress in the reverse. All right. Taurus, Libra energy, and the World. Wow. And we have the High Priestess in the reverse. Pisces. Okay. Let me tap into this energy. I feel I need some more. Yeah, there's the King of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and then Chariot under that, which is Cancer energy. Okay. Lots here. Just, you can skip ahead. I need to tap into this. Okay. Oh my goodness. I was telling pile 1, I think, in this recording, because I recorded yesterday only a pile and a half, and it was the exact sort of same energy that pulled through 1 and 2. But I was telling them that, I just totally had a blankness here. Oh yeah, that I had in the past. Sorry, I know I'm editorializing, but I had in the past a reading, and it was like all the piles were sort of connected. This is sort of how it's coming through. So I don't know if there's one really major significant connection going on right now, or it could be the message to the collective. Okay, or someone really needs to hear this, but it feels the exact same connection I read in 1 and 2. It feels is coming through here as well. Hopefully it's not going through pile 4. I don't know if there's anything different. I'm going to channel this independently. Okay, but it might repeat a lot of what happened there, and I can't help it, is what I see. It's how it's coming through here, okay? But this does feel it's coming from your person, okay? But you can flip it. If it's you, then it's you, okay? But I'm going to call it sort of your person here. Your person is coming through as a King of Wands and a King of Cups, okay? And normally when I see, kings, queens, they represent people. So sometimes it could be multiple people that are showing up through here, okay? Which I'm not really necessarily feeling, because it could just be 2 aspects of your person, which is how I'm going to channel it. But it could be that there's multiple people, okay? It could be third party, for sure. Even with Empress, could be there's, because could be the wife, okay? But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole just yet, unless it comes through strong. What I'm really picking up for the bulk of you guys, okay, just don't click away just yet. I feel like your person has a deep love here for you that they have not yet been able to move forward on. The need to move forward means I have to integrate and balance certain energies that are in the shadow that I hold and have held for who knows how long when it comes to engaging and trusting myself to go after what I want and have a vision and execute on that vision. The vision to build or to be successful or to move towards what my heart is calling me to do, which I feel is you. Because I do feel like the shadow wound here is like a mother wound, an inability to love unconditionally from the heart. And it could be that this person was so hurt or blocked or whatever happened. I'm not seeing the past, but so much so that it created an inability for this person to align with a happily ever after for themselves when it comes to engaging with another, because 10 cups is 2 people. Okay, well, it's like a community of people could certainly be, but it's like it's not me alone that builds the 10 cups. It's me and others in an environment, families coming together to build a happily ever after. And I could just create my own future over time that's been just me solo, resisting, fighting, unable to love, and create all sorts of challenge, fighting, resisting. And I feel like your person is amidst some form of need to shift and drop their sort of position here, because I feel like your person has not been in a position to prioritize or believe in themselves to choose how to invest in connection. And you represent the connection that this person is sort of having to face and deal with this thing, because their love is very deep and their desire to succeed. But to succeed means what? It means I have to take action and do something. I can't just dream away or look at it from a window. I have to connect to a deep sense of love from my heart in order to take action, because I do feel this person's future is really based on what they do in this present moment, which all of our futures are based on this present moment. Now, there is no such thing as future except for the right here, right now. And it's like, what am I doing right here, right now? That's allowing movement. That's with this chariot and the 7. Okay, this is integration in order to be balanced, in order to have success and movement in my world, instead of feeling stuck and stagnant here. Because if I see and understand of a dream or a vision or something I want because I feel deep love for it, in order to align with it, I have to do it in the right here, right now. Because in this present moment, what I do is going to determine what manifests. And since I'm driven from my heart space, I got to manifest something here, but I got to deal with the shadow. I got to deal with the inability or the story or the thing here that's been creating this block. And so I feel like there is an awakening to the truth that's going to bring a lot of peace to this person, your person, which is dealing with change and shift, because we have to sort of go through the uncomfortable energy before we get to the comfort. We can't just leapfrog over the change and wish things to be sort of flowing. It's like sometimes we got to go through the challenge. And I feel like your person has been sort of, I don't know, I was going to say asleep at the wheel, but it's like unwilling to face conflict and change. It's like, yeah, but it'd be too heavy or too much, or they already believe in a story where I would just fail, or it won't work, or I won't be loved, or I won't be supported, or something like this that they believe. And it's like, I'd have to do something here that they don't feel they have, or that they couldn't do or sustain or support. And so as an observer, you just see sort of a failed attempt or a non-attempt or a discouraged sort of reservation. And it's like, why are you stuck here? Or why can you not move forward? Or like, what's going on here? And I feel like you've been sort of shut out, not seeing. So either this person's been very limited with what they communicate, or completely removed from your world. You haven't seen or heard from this person. And it's like, why? Because this person is really being called by the divine, by spirits, to close out this chapter in their world where they've been stagnant in when it comes to their own practical investments to build happiness for themselves. Is going to tie to an emotional happiness future for them that stem from true love, where they're able to give and receive love. And a flow state here has been blocked due to an understanding, and I feel it's an understanding of an untruth about who they are or what they're capable of doing. And it's like only through love, through the heart, can we then deal with what we need to deal with. And I feel like this person can no longer not deal with what they're being called to deal with. They have to sort of look at their feelings and their hearts now. Whether what they want to do with that is going to have to be a conscious decision. But it's like, I can no longer lie to myself. I have to be honest with the feels and the truth of the heart here. And the heart doesn't lie. The heart wants what it wants, and it's going to show the truth of a picture here. But the only thing that shows sort of a lie is pains, is wounds, is experiences where we might have felt shut out or unloved or abandoned or an inability to do something, and it becomes a reality, but it's not necessarily the truth of the matter, just the reality. And so Spirit's saying there's a truth, it lies in the heart that you haven't been able to see, and you've been acting against your intuition here, and there's a need to shift and change. And the shift and the change is dealing with challenge in your world to close a chapter so that you can have success. Because in order to align with what you want, what they say they want in their heart here, you must face the 5 energy, the change, the shift, and believe in yourself to accomplish something here, to move through something here. Because what's happening, which is tied to all the piles, like I said, is you gaining your clarity and your understanding. Of course, if you resonate as this Queen of Swords, you're saying, I understand through pain, through challenge, my truth of what's been real to me, because I could see it and I've experienced it. And what I've experienced is an imbalance. What I've experienced is me empty-handed. What I've experienced is maybe over-giving or over-investing in something, or being stagnant in a situation that's blocked and stuck and is not producing. It's not producing for me. It hasn't been able to build a 10 cup. And so I got to deal with my truth, and you're releasing. I feel with this crow energy is like release, is the death energy, is like maybe you've said goodbye, or maybe you've accepted some truth or said some truth to them, like, okay, then goodbye. I see the crow waving its wing. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Here's the truth. And it's like I've been sitting here, maybe I've been waiting here, maybe I've been listening to my heart here about giving you space, compassion, or time, or whatever this thing is here. But I feel there's a movement here with this 8, and there's this strength that comes from you. And I feel it's the strength through adversity, through seeing the truth. And I feel you're choosing your star, because 8 is also star energy. Okay. It's 17. It's the 8, which means what? Which means my dream and my vision that I want for me can only be acted upon me when I act upon truth. I can't be here in your illusion or your wound or your shadow of cannots and will not and woundedness and an inability to give and receive love, because I feel there's a block here to giving and receiving in a practical way that could build. And you've been on the sort of non-receiving end here. And I do feel something karmic, okay? But if you don't believe in karma, then whatever. The universe dishing out some sort of lessons here. And I feel your lesson was an understanding in what imbalance looks like, and having to choose truth and self, and saying goodbye to any situation, regardless of there's love here, because you want the peace. And I feel like you're not leaving out of anger. You're leaving out of truth and clarity, saying, okay, I understand and I see. Staying here is imbalance. And I want to create a new beginning for myself. I don't know where I'm going or what the heck I could step into. But what I do know is staying here is imbalance. What I do know is staying here would be stagnant or stuck or not building the thing that I need. And so I think your truth is starting fresh for yourself. And it's felt by your, as it jumps, starting fresh for yourself. And it's felt by your person, because it's cascading this whole need to deal with this. And if your person didn't have a deep love here for you, there would be no need for them to take action. And I feel their action is wanting to have success and move and building this confidence to align with something, but they have to do something, say something, act on something, and align with something here. I don't think they have. They haven't. And I think they want you to know, like, I love you. But it's like, okay, you love me, but there you have to sort of practically do something with this love and act on this love or deal with something here. Because I think what you're really sort of saying is my future, what the build is here is more important to me. And yes, it's this present moment, but it's like this present moment, if there's withholding and blocks and stagnation, then I'll stay here, and the future I want to build and what I want to experience will never happen. And to me, is there's this need to create it, and I need to pull on what I can, which is my own truth, and take action on what I can do and say. So something very destined, okay? And I do feel like you're sort of aligning with that, and it's creating this need for your person to close something out here. So for this group, I do suggest you go watch 1 and 2, because to me, it's the exact same message, but we're going to see then what is it that this person is sort of going to do here if they're sensing you're sort of pulled. let's see what is different here. Spirit, clearing concise message for pile 3 then. What do they need to know about this person on their mind? Can we dive into this energy a little bit more? Anything that pile 3 is needing to know about the person on their mind and how this person is feeling and thinking as a result of what's going on energetically between these two. I feel like your person almost was like in an energy of cannot, so I won't do anything. It's sort of like, look at this person, they're like, oh, slumped over, I just can't do anything. I'm gonna give up here. Got the better of me, you know? And sometimes we encompass that energy when we're just too tired because we've been hurt or we've experienced like something that's proved a reality of like, see, it's not working. It's too difficult. I'm just going to roll over here. And that's different than like a surrender, because surrender is like, I can do what I can do. I'm not just going to sort of give up. And Chariot again. Cancer energy, success. Shadow integration. Working with the universe in order to overcome obstacles in a balanced way. Now, I do feel your person's moving towards you. Okay, the moon, fear, doubts, the subconscious here, what I said, this shadowy energy coming from the subconscious. I need to deal with the reverse Empress energy. Knight of Swords, confront it, deal with it, not avoid it, because I feel there's an avoidance. Okay, Knight of Swords in the reverse came out for pile number 2, I believe. Okay, but this is a need to confront and deal with the fear and move through anything we don't know so we could get to knowing, reflecting, understanding oneself and what one wants. Okay, 10 Pentacles in the reverse. 10 Pentacles, the family card, the stability and the security. There's something here that might need to be undone here. The security as we know it, in order to align with a greater truth. And the journey of the hermit is very lonely because it can only be done with self. We have to sort of abandon what we know, everything, in order to find the truth. So the hermit goes and leaves his community, a group of people, whatever is established, goes to the top of the mountains to reflect and sit with truth. So he comes back totally changed here, more aligned with what matters, you know, and it is lonely. But I feel like there is a need to deal with something here that maybe was built at one time that is no longer sustainable, or whether your person wants to build and commit to something worth having, but there's fear. Okay, Knight of Wands, and this is clarified by the 9 of Cups. So in a love reading, this is a selfish energy because Knight of Wands really just thinks about what he wants immediately. Is there no foresight? It's sort of immediate action, very fast, very quick, fizzles out here in regards to making myself emotionally happy. 9 Cups. But is this sustaining? Remember, the 10 of Cups was in the reverse. And so I feel like there's something about immediate gratification that I think is fulfilling, but is not sustaining, that keeps sort of fizzling out or dying. And there's an opportunity for a 10 Cups that I haven't seen or experienced, or I'm shutting out here. To keep experiencing this is exhausting because I might have to keep generating this thing, you know, and it just keeps fizzling out. And it's like, I thought this was happiness. I thought this was the thing that was sustaining in some way, but it's like, it's not. I have to keep going through something here where it doesn't sustain itself. So how could I be happy like this? I'm not. I'm tired. Now that I know what 10 Cups exists, I have to really be honest and reflect what I want for myself. Okay, High Priestess in reverse. So we don't know what we don't see. I don't know, like you're not talking to your person, or they're not communicating this with you, or they're just turning a blind eye to some greater truth here that was needing to be seen and dealt with. Against the intuition, there's the Hangman, a change of perspective. Interesting, because that came out yesterday when I attempted this reading. Yeah, 7 Swords in the reverse, exactly. The same energy, you guys. Wow. someone really needs to hear this reading, you know. I haven't done a reading in a minute either. And so for us to get the same sort of connection all across 3 piles is very significant here. Your person is having a shift in how they engage and see things as a result of an enlightened perspective that has come through, I don't know, a period of separation, experience with you that's made them see something different, a lack of engaging with you that's made them feel different, something that's created some sort of insight that's come to them through a higher power that's been ignored, not seen, and they are working through this understanding that's different than what they've had in the past. It's a 180 in how I used to see, and it does stem into the past. All these poppies for me talk about the past. It's like a 6-cup energy. Past relationships, hometown, families, communities. What I've experienced in the past has created some sort of energy that's been my sort of consistent way of engagement or thinking and beliefs. And now there's a shift and a change that's more aligned with truth, and it feels lonely. And I don't feel this person has communicated this or has seen this because it's been in the dark. It's been in their subconscious. It's been in their fears, and it's requiring them to confront and deal with something that they haven't been honest with themselves about. It does tie into the past. Maybe it's how to give love, or what relationship means, or what does a 10-cup versus a 9-cup mean, and how have you been engaged. And I do feel it could really stem into this person's freedom. Okay, what this course talks about self-empowerment, freedom, and it could be like all intertwined here, because it's like 9 cups is the self. It's like my own freedom, my own emotional happiness. And there could be like a block to a 10-cup, meaning now I'd have to deal with this sort of Empress energy and receiving and giving love, which opens up from a more selfish sort of self energy. And so I could have a misbelief or a lack of understanding or seeing what it means to be free or empowered to love and give love, because the lesson has to be felt and understood through the heart. But what does love actually look like? And it doesn't limit freedom and independence. Love empowers us to be free. Okay, as long as it's not transactional here. And I feel like your person might have experienced maybe transactional love, fear-based love, or a love that limited their freedoms, or just anticipated that whole thing with the Empress in reverse. And so they were withholding. And it's like, I'd rather be a 9 cups here. But the 9 cups here, like I said, is a spizzly energy. And a true 10 cups is a deep, fulfilling thing that we could build upon and sustainable. Something is unsustainable here. Okay, and the truth is begging to be called. And I feel like spirit, with this door to spirit, this hangman is all about enlightenment, working with spirit, and there's nothing more enlightened than the hermit. So there's a spiritual awakening and enlightenment of the truth that I could not see. It was sort of, I was resisting or something here because of a fear, and it created a lot of confusion, and it was buried deep within the subconscious. And I do feel is very much tied to freedom and independence with the cage here, the horses. Okay, but look, we have this brown horse and this white horse. So I feel like there is the truth with the white. It's the purity, the clarity. It's not tainted. And that is where true freedom is, where this person can be independent and empowered, but they have to deal with the death. And the death is the release of what doesn't work, and the release of the Pluto shadowy fears in order to move beyond and confront what they need to. And I feel like your person might have had a false sense of independence and freedom. And I feel like, see the crow, I know this is getting kind of reading and the imagery, but see this crow is here running with this horse, and here the crow is sort of above the white horse. And so I feel like the crow representing release, change, and I feel like your person was trying to free themselves through one understanding of what freedom and happiness look like. But I don't feel like they were allowing themselves to fully let the change, the shift, and the release in order for them to be fully in line with truth, for them to be happy and free to make decisions to confront what they were needing to. And I feel like it had to build momentum. There had to be sort of this moving beyond the fears, sitting and reflecting, working with spirit, understanding the past, and really sort of going through this door and being led by the heart. This is what's going to create success and movement for this person. And I feel this is what they're sort of going through as a result, because I do feel your energy is the Queen of Swords, you gaining clarity and taking action on truth. Okay, I feel like we need just one more round to sort of close this out. Okay, Spirit, what do you want pile number 3 to know then about this connection? Anything else pile number 3 needs to know about their person and this connection? Clear and concise message. Do they need to know what this person's going to do, where this person's sort of at, or what's going to happen, or what's this? What do they need to know? King of Pentacles. Perfect. So this is stable, grounded energy of a committed person that we could rely on to build something in the 3D. Okay, practical, grounded, father energy, committable energy. And, okay, this one's falling sideways. We see the star. Okay, Aquarius energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But it's like my future, my wish, my dream, my vision of what I want. And it has to be grounded in reality and built upon. And I'm the only one, through a process of release and change and shift, can create this thing to be abundant. Okay, but I feel like your person's working on their empowerment. I feel like it's a process of healing with the star. Crown's talking about getting empowered to take action to release, go through the shift and the change. Okay, the High Priestess in reverse for a third time. We're going to get clarity on that. So it's not seeing or being in tune with the intuition or knowings. It's like being in the dark. Because that moon energy again. Maybe it's like, I don't know that I have confidence in my ability to sustain something here. I don't see. And again, with that Empress in the reverse, because it's like, if I don't know for sure that I won't be abandoned or that I could be successful in some way, it's like I don't follow my intuition. I don't follow my heart. I sort of ignore it. But they can't sustain that whole thing. I go against the truth. Okay, not seeing, not understanding. Sometimes it's being in denial here. Like maybe we haven't learned, so we stay in the dark about the truth, about reality. And it's the reality is that I can become someone worthy of creating something here in the 3D. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Wow, these piles are all very tied. Okay, this is the divine intervention here, and it's like maybe saying, well, the universe sort of has me stuck. I'm not in a position where I can do something here. Wow, okay, let's keep going. The moon, fears, confusion. Okay, King of Cups, the heart. Not following the heart. Lots of love here. And then the 5 of Cups in the reverse. Okay, and the Knight of Wands again for a second time, and the 10 Pentacles in the reverse for a second time. And then this card in the sideways position, the 8 Cups. Okay. Pile number 3. What's going on with your person here? Let me just do the signs again, okay? So we have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Cancer, and Pisces, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay. Your person has to deal with walking away. And I do feel they're in a situation in their world where it's emotionally dissatisfying, even if they feel they have been getting a 9 cup sort of from that energy. It's no longer doing it for this person. But in order for them to align with something greater, like a 10 cup or something that they know exists, and I do feel is like this connection, they have to abandon what doesn't emotionally fulfill. I feel like your person has been in a Knight of Wands sort of energy, immediate sort of gratification, something that's sort of fizzling out here, a need to deal with a release, a need to deal with the fear. And I think their fear was releasing the past or the old way of being, because I think it was tied to their independence and their freedom, which is giving them empowerment in order to build, create, and commit to something worth building. And they were going against their intuition, and they were in the dark about understanding about this whole thing, because I feel there's a divine lesson for them to see and understand, inner feel and inner experience, something that can only come through the hermit's journey, through the hangman. They're working with spirit, and they're destined to see and learn. Through the heart is the only way for them to gain clarity and understanding. And so this love that they have for you is the only way for them to see and understand what they need to in order to create and build in the 3D. Because our 3D builds, our manifestations are all based on what we believe and what we understand and what we hold and what we know to be true. And so if our truth is skewed out of fear, out of subconscious wounding, and out of sort of understandings that aren't necessarily accurate about our own freedoms and our empowerment and what we can and cannot build, then we start sort of keep that untruth alive, and we stay stuck and we stay stagnant. And I feel like your person has been stuck in their world for some time, thinking that that was their reality, and we sort of think, well, the universe is just sort of dishing this out in a way that I have no ability and no power, and I don't see how I could. And they're right, they couldn't see it. But the hangman's saying, now I can understand and see something, because my heart has let me open the door to a truth. The seven swords in the reverse. The truth is that I have to deal with my own limiting thoughts about my own empowerment and what I can sort of walk away from. And when we walk away from an 8 of Cups, we're always walking towards something else that's better. Okay, and so we leave 8 to go to the 9, but it's a true 9, which is what this person wanted, which is freedom, emotional happiness. But I feel like there's a need for them to sort of reveal to themselves a greater truth that it needs to only come through an experience, and it's like, I am not just this sort of floundering energy, this sort of fly by night that can't grow something here, because I feel there's a lot of fear about commitments or growing something or their ability to be sustainable in something, and they don't see and understand how they could do this. And it's like, maybe they know, like, all I could give maybe is love, or maybe they feel like, I don't know, like I have to give up on the love that I feel in order to sustain something, in a practical world that I've been doing here, because I'm not seeing the great truth and haven't been seeing. And so I've been, I don't know, like in a situation that I'm supporting on the side that has nothing to do with feels and everything to do with resources. It feeds me resources, or I feed it. But there's a truth here of what I want. And I have to get empowered, and I have to release, and I have to align with the truth that's been blocked here. And so I feel like your person is amidst walking away from emotional dissatisfying situations, because this, where they have been sort of pegged to, isn't in line with what they feel. It's at the expense of feels. And it's like, no, let me walk towards. And in order to walk towards, they have to deal with this moon, this fear, the unknown. And there could be a lot of fear of being abandoned, a lot of fear of losing their freedom, a lot of fear of something happening here, which is not necessarily true, but it's not seeing, and maybe they don't know how to see how to turn things. How do I become this? How do I? Your person might not know. So let's see. Why is there this High Priestess here for the 3rd time, and this Ace of Swords and this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse? It's like only the Hermit can then see and understand, and the Hangman. Yeah, the release, 4 of Pentacles in the reverse. And don't cling to the past, because this would be a fear-based energy. So I'm blocked in the heart space. I'm clinging to the past or to the thing that I know, but I got to release. The Hierophant. So again, all powers tied. Hierophant, the structure, the understanding, the thing I valued. It could be a marriage. It could be just a family situation. It could be a family setup structure. Okay. It doesn't have to be that they're married. Could be like an immediate sort of family situation, or upbringing, a religious belief, something that's no longer aligned to this person's truth and value. With the 7 swords in the reverse, it's like they must walk away in order to be happy and release, because it's been blocked and they've been sort of too fearful to admit some sort of truth to themselves. It's not aligned with my values, and therefore they have not been able to commit and build something here with you. Okay. Yeah, 8 of Wands, which we were getting across the board. Your person's about to communicate something. I do feel there's a movement from your person with the Chariot we were seeing, where they've been sort of stuck in this sort of not seeing and understanding, and feeling very blocked here by what they might have thought as external circumstance forced upon them, which of course, if we believe that there's an external circumstance, it becomes real, but there is no external thing that can sort of force us to do anything. But we got to look at where we're sort of clinging our beliefs and our values. And so I feel like there's a lesson of the universe that your person is being called to see and intuitively understand, which is their truth. And their truth lies with them, with the Hermit. It doesn't lie with a pack of people or a family or a belief or a social structure. And I feel like there's a lot of fear around commitments, or what would it mean for this person to move towards this connection. But there's a movement here. Okay, there's a communication here. Some of you guys could be at a long distance, which does come through here. And I feel your person's gearing up, but it would require them leaving and releasing. Yeah, releasing. And they've been resistant to this change, this crow energy that's asking them, release what no longer serves. It's not doing it no more, and it's changing by the minute. Whatever used to sort of maybe support this person or give this person sort of some form of understanding is the thing that's having to be released and changed in order for them to break free. But I do feel there's a breaking free and a movement and a shift and a change. And this is very fast, where it's been slow and stagnant. And I feel it's like, maybe it's like, I don't know as well. I'm getting here like where pile 3 is at. It could be you've cut communication, or you've said, hey, like, I'm no longer going to sort of communicate what's going on here with me. And there seems to be like, I'm in the dark and I have a lot of love here. I don't want to be in the dark. I don't want to lose an opportunity that was once available to me, and now I don't see where it could go. I have to do something. I have to say something. I have to release something, and I have to move towards it. Now I don't have to, but if I want to move with my love and truth, because I'll miss out on something, then I must do something here. Otherwise, I'm going to lose out. And this is exactly what it feels like to me. And so the person is about to communicate despite the fear, and it's a slow sort of walk away from the past, but I feel a fast communication towards you, because I feel like there's still a resisting of a letting go. And this process is slow, but the breakthrough happens as a result of an understanding that comes through, I don't know, a no contact or a reflection of something that allows them to have a different sort of view, and it allows this person to sort of break free from some pattern. I don't know why I want to see this card so bad. Yeah, that's the Knight of Wands, which we saw. Okay, so pile number 3, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. All right, goodbye. Hello, pile number 4. You guys picked Todd Alcott's Sci-Fi Tarot. Now, I got something outdated and something sort of, I don't know, like revolutionary, which is 2 sort of polar opposite energies right when I picked up these cards. So I don't know, like pile 1, 2, and 3 were all sort of, I felt the same. Okay, so I don't know if yours is sort of the same, but the thing in the past is pulling through here something outdated, something that's irrelevant, and then there's like the new. Okay. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to say that before that energy left. So what are we doing? We're looking at that person on your mind. And what is this person thinking and feeling about you at this time? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. Now, I do intend it to be the person on your mind, but sometimes the energy comes flip-flopped and it's your own feelings and thoughts. If that's the case, you can go check out another pile. All right. So, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. The person they came here about. What are their thoughts and feelings at this time? What are they feeling and thinking about pile 4 specifically in this connection? Please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 4 and the person they came here about. Pile 4, I'd like to take this time to thank you, your higher self, and your Spirit's team, angels, guides, ancestors, and of course, Spirit, for this active divination. Thank you so much, Spirit. And thank you so much. Pile number, we're going to read those. Pile number 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. Spirit, please help me to channel in a way pile 4 will understand what's being communicated regarding the person on their mind, their feelings at this time. Oh, you guys are getting a lot of cards coming through. Clear and concise message for pile number 4. Is there another? Yes, there is. There it is, flying at me. Okay. Hopefully we have enough space here for all this. So, the 8 of Cups. It's the only card revealing itself. What's interesting is it felt to me like all of the piles were sort of bleeding into each other. Pile 3 ended with this sort of 8 of Cups, which you only saw for the first time in pile 3. So I don't know. We're seeing a walking away from something emotionally dissatisfying towards something that is emotionally satisfying. Okay, clarified by the Page of Wands in the reverse. All right. And then we have attachment. She's taking off her mask. Number 5 is all about change. It's conflict. Okay, the 3rd. 7. So 7 is Chariot and Tower energy. We have Cancer. It says unknown sweetheart, couples intruder, the other lover, the outsider, mistress, lover, the official spouse. Type 7 enthusiast, thinking centered between pleasure and pain. And we have the heart chakra and commitment. Oh my goodness. So the blue is the authentic self-expression with the throat chakra here. Another 5. So 5 is a master number, which is change is the only constant, divinely orchestrated change. Commitment, solemn promise, engagement, implication, signature, word given, and union to come. Type 5, the observer, thinking center between interior and exterior. So we have some Taurus and some Sagittarius and Cancer energy pulling through. Okay, let's see these ones first. We have the thinking man, 46. Okay, so that's 10. 10 is about endings. We're getting the King of Swords energy here, or even Page of Swords. And the door to personal healing and happiness. Beautiful. So Hermit type energy going on here. 34. Or another 7. Okay, so 77 is also a master number. Trust the fall and adventure that arises from a deep wisdom. Trust of life, trust of self. It's this Hermit energy I'm getting. Virgo energy, Cancer energy, and then the bottom of the deck we have the 5 Pentacle energy. Okay, so lack. Oh, this is feeling left out in the cold. These two sort of fell independent. Knight of Pentacles. So building something solid over time. And the 2 of Pentacles. 2 Pentacles is the instability or the lack of balance. Okay, it could be a back and forth energy. You need to choose, prioritize, or feeling sort of without, unregulated even potentially in something in a practical world. Okay, oh my gosh, my eyes, the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, and then the Queen of Wands in the reverse. That's that other woman energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. All right, the 3 of Swords in the reverse. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, What is this? I can barely see it. It says 8 of Wands, changes in the air. It's in the reverse. Okay. 2 Wands, clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. There's a very clear message in this pile. The Knight of Wands is in the reverse and is clarified by the King of Swords. That was that energy we were getting here, but he's in the reverse. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then we have the 10 of Cups in the reverse. What's under 5 Pentacles is the 10 of Swords. Wowzers. Yes. Okay. Let me tap into this message. All right. Wow. Okay. I feel 2 energies here, and this energy is so much like 1, 2, and 3. Every pile is the exact same connection. I feel very strongly about this. Okay. So you might want to go check it out. I don't know what to tell you. Don't want to force you to see anything you don't want to, but I do feel like whoever I'm reading for is needing to hear this message. And so I came through in every single pile, which is a little frustrating for me because I'm like, Spirit, why am I reading the same thing over and over? But maybe it comes through different depending on how you hear it. I don't know. Okay. I give up. I throw the towel in the air. But anyway, I'll read this independently, but it is the same. Same messaging. Okay. What's happening here? I feel 2 energies. I feel yours and I feel the person that you came here about. Your energy, beautiful. Okay, but I feel it hasn't been easy for you. I feel like you feel like the outsider. I don't know if you're in a third party situation. Some of you guys are. Okay, you're the other woman. But either way, we could feel like another woman when we're not chosen. Because we did get chosen because this person cannot prioritize for whatever reason here. It's like prioritize the connection or show me value. I don't feel your person has shown you value. And I feel as a result of this whole thing, you're coming into a new understanding here. This, I feel, is coming from this perspective of your person. Your person's looking at you as someone here who's making yourself unavailable. And it could be the truth that you're like, I don't feel confident here to keep supporting something or someone who makes me feel like an outsider here. It's too painful. And I feel you've gone through the hump of it, the hump of the pain, or you had to release, you took the rose-colored glasses or the mask. It's like I could see now. I could see where I was attached to what was keeping me stuck or getting in the way of my confidence of myself. And I can no longer sort of make myself available here to this situation. And so I don't know if you've ended it or stopped talking to this person. For some of you guys completely, maybe you just said, that's it. I've had enough, or said, there'll be an end here unless this moves. In some way, there needs to be movement or a breakthrough here. And all I can do is sort of choose my own choices and options here to have my new beginning. And the only new beginning I ever want to hear about or move towards or choose is one that's solid and doable. That's it. I cannot do anything other than this. And your person is on the other side here, leaving, holding, catching the bag of whatever consequence has happened as a result of them not moving or doing what they were doing. There's a deep, profound understanding that's going on right now that's healing this person through a process of pain or experience and understanding, or they're losing an opportunity with you, or whatever it was that they could have had with you could be slipping through their fingers. So this realization is like, what does true happiness look like? Because true happiness is a happily ever after that I could build with somebody here, but I must be of an energy to create this whole thing. And whatever energy I was in is not working. It can't work this way. And whatever energy they were, I do feel has been something quite maybe cold or removed or heartless or like acting on some sort of logic. Something that was understood by them, at the exclusion, I feel, of feelings, or at least like considering you or valuing you or showing you something. And now I feel this person feels out in the cold. Even if you're sort of engaged, your energy has shifted to some sort of truth. And this truth is I'm no longer sort of going to wear the mask of the unhealthy attachment or be connected to something that isn't solid, that isn't in line with a new beginning. And I have to choose this, which means I have to sort of conclude or deal with you in a way here that frees me. And you're in the process of this because I don't feel you're completely freed, but I feel like your energy is shifted according to this person. And so there's an urgency here in regards to having to deal with something here. It's like you don't want to be a third party person or on the outskirts of somebody's world. And I feel like this person hasn't been able to choose you in a solid way. And this is something that you're saying, like, you got to sort of commit to what you want. And you're showing me what you do want to commit to hasn't been in line with something that I'm needing or wanting. And you haven't made yourself available here. And so your person is being called to sort of walk away from whatever they have been doing, because I feel like you're walking away from anything that's unsatisfactory. And so there's a mirroring here. You walk away. It's like the old is tiring, and it's like the old can't sort of sustain anything here that I want for me that's in the solid that I got to build in the new. And I feel like this connection was maybe blocking you from exploring your new opportunity. And I feel you know this. And I feel like either you've said it energetically to this person or like physically or whatever. They understand you're no longer maybe wanting to sort of explore a dead-end situation and you're walking away. It's no longer emotionally satisfying being the other woman or playing back fiddle or being unprioritized. And so this person hasn't been committing or allowing themselves to say, hey, let's explore this thing and see where it goes, because it would require them to leave something and walk through this door. And now with your energy sort of shifting, they're like, yeah, I have to put an end to something here because it's created me feeling empty-handed or in the doghouse of your energy. This is how they're feeling, left out. And they see the option in front of them to choose, because only they can choose which way they want to go. And if they want to choose to stay where they're at, I feel like there's something here about lying to themselves and not being very thrilled about this missed opportunity. And the potential sort of goes with you. But they have not made themselves sort of available, because I don't know that this person felt confident in their position. Something in the real world they feel are lacking or don't have. And I don't know if it's like I generally say, they need a setup, a house, a place, a thing. They feel, I don't know, maybe geographically not in a position, logistically not in a position, or practically, financially. It's like their world around them has created some form of dependency, I feel, that's made them unavailable to explore and to do something. And they're attached to that world. And that world they'd have to put an end to and walk away from in order to explore. And now they're looking at the exploration of this connection like paradise. But it's like paradise is on the other side of this gate. And the gate is the end of some past thing that I've been attached to here. Or else, like this paradise lost, there's peace, there's happiness, there's 10 cups on the other side of this gate. And they're seeing this and they're thinking about this and they're getting clarity about this thing. Okay, I also feel there's healing coming through with these crystals. Healing, some understanding where your person might have really fumbled the truth of aligning themselves with a future. But it does require some form of commitment to this connection and investment in this connection, and dealing with maybe how they've been dealing with you in the past, which might have been back and forth or keeping you up in the air, or this connection in limbo, rather than, I don't know, like solidly sort of plowing ahead in a way here that's fast enough for you or convincing enough for you, because it feels been very painful, very slow. And maybe that's the thing. It's like it's real, it feels slow, it feels stuck. It's too slow, it's too painful. As they sort of shift and change from this to Pentacle, it's still not enough. They're still not available here. And so I feel like there's a need to deal with truths on both sides. And I think your truth maybe is this person fast enough? Are they in a position to support me in a way here that makes me feel seen and loved and appreciated, and I can build happiness? Or is it too slow, even if the intention is there? And you've been loyal and committed to this thing. It's like, no, I got to take this mask off Okay, and I feel like your person's mask has been worn in a situation where they've been sort of, I don't know if it's been dragging their feet or just, again, a need to rip the Band-Aid off of something here that's been limiting them, that they have to choose differently so they can have a new beginning in their world. But it really requires them making change and shift and communicating a desire to move in some direction and have a breakthrough through something they've been attached to here. Okay, so let's see for this group, because again, I feel I'm repeating myself. A dive in, like what's different than about this than the other sort of piles, because I feel they're all sort of exactly saying the same sort of messaging. What is it that pile number 4 needs to know then about the person's feelings? The chosen person is sort of really connected to your feelings. And as you shift, they're shifting. It's like I can't lose out on an opportunity that's available to me. And I feel they've been humming, hawing, staring, no action, looking, examining, considering. Okay, but I feel they've been really attached to the past. Let's see, what is pile number 4 person thinking and feeling at this time? Can we dive in deeper? So there's devil energy present for sure. Okay, Capricorn energy, 7 of Swords. So I need to deal with truth and maybe not shut you out. Strategically, maybe they've been sort of avoiding. It's been hurtful because we saw you went through the 3 swords, you went through the pain of it. The pain of their avoidance, the pain of the untruths. And I feel like they're still sort of maybe in that cloudy untruth, and you're like overcoming that hump. And now they're like left with the consequences of a 7 swords, of the sabotage. They got to deal with it. Okay, so we have the world. Yeah, deal with it, close out a cycle. Wow, these piles are very interconnected. Okay, closure of the old world in order to have the new. Like I said, when I touched your deck here, it was like the old, the legacy system, whatever it was, and the new. The new is at the expense of me having to close out and deal with the old. Okay, 10 swords, close out, ending, but successful conclusion to have a new beginning. But it's painful with 10 swords. And I think maybe you have to go or close something out here with them, in order for them to deal with something here. 8 of Cups. Their inability to walk away from something, to leave a situation that's emotionally depleted or unsatisfactory because they've been avoidant or in denial. Okay? There's some truth about their dry situation here that's been holding them hostage and stuff that needs to come to an end or some sort of conclusion. And I feel like maybe you were attached and couldn't walk away. Something you were needing to deal with. I feel very mirrored here in order for there to be a cascade of truths being seen and understood by your person. Major cycle closing here, which is beautiful to see. Okay, because this allows there to be a release and change. The 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. So in order to build and work on something, we have to release. And I think you're no longer willing to keep investing and working on something that maybe someone feels, again, like they're avoidant of, or they're not being open and honest with you. It's like, I was stuck here. I'm no longer wanting to invest here. And your person is coming to a dead end. What can they give to a situation emotionally non-satisfying? Because my email. Okay, and clarifying the 10 swords is this 5 of sword in the reverse, coming out of a sabotagey energy, the conflict, in order to conclude something here. Yeah, King of Cups, led by the heart. There's the justice, balance, and karma, and then Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So, watch the piles, okay, because I really feel it's very, very tied. Same cards are sort of coming through, and I don't know, maybe this is a collective message for everyone here. Okay, we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, we have Libra. And what's this talking about? The opportunity for a new beginning with this Page of Pentacles requires there to be an end. Sometimes endings might be the anticipation of pain and suffering, or sometimes we experience pain and suffering in an ending of something that can't go back to the same in order to conclude and have a new beginning. That's beautiful, but it's success, because success means the new can now happen. the opportunity that's beautiful, that's sort of on hold here, is held hostage. And this is karmic lessons that need to be understood and worked out and balanced. As we lean into the heart, we understand maybe where we've been more mind over heart, or where we've been led by some sort of belief that isn't necessarily led by how we feel. And so I feel like there's a lesson here about feels, love, heart, that requires this person to take action or understand or bring about balance and justice in their world. It requires painful action, and it requires them to be honest with their feelings and not necessarily just what maybe logically looks right. Because I feel like in order for them to be honest with what is right and true, it requires them walking away from something that they haven't been able to sort of do up until now. And I feel like your person hasn't put forward the energy or the effort consistently in a way here that could build to what it was that is supposed to sort of lead to some greater commitment here with you and a future here with you. Okay, and I think you said sayonara then. And so your person does not want 5 swords. I feel your person has been in a sabotagey energy with the 7 swords and the 5 swords. And they get more challenging than this. And it's like, who wants to stay in this energy? No one. Your person wants to come out of challenge, wants to come out of sabotage. Your person doesn't want to be in a position where they can no longer have agency over what they can do because you're removed and you're far. It's like, I want to be able to still be able to invest and do something here, but if I have to invest and commit and do something practically here, then it requires, like I say, walking away from something that I've been sort of lying to myself about. Okay, so I think you've mirrored something to your person here to take the action. Yeah, it's like the Emperor in reverse. So they've been an Emperor in reverse, shadow. So it could be cowardly, fearful, unable to step up, to feel empowered to do something, or it could be so blinded by my own knowing that I think I'm right at the expense of my own feels and heart. And it could be that I have a role to play. I'm the father, I'm the provider, I don't know, I feel disempowered even if I'm in a situation that holds all the power. It's like I'm not in a position to do anything, and I hold power here. I can't do anything. And I feel stuck here. It's emotionally dissatisfying. And I'm just looking at the dream, the possibility of what can happen. But it's like, it's all a lie here, but because there is something we can do. We have to deal with the pains. We have to close doors, and we have to successfully sort of conclude things in our world that we're attached to that create this, that we might be shifting our commitments to people, places, things that are sort of upkeeping some sort of dissatisfactory situation, you know? And I don't know, lots of you guys, like I said, it's third-party energy. Maybe there's a spouse. Okay, but if it isn't, it's like I'm disempowered because of my current situation. And you are this like third energy that is requiring me to step up and do something here from my heart. Okay, so that's how they're feeling right now. The Knight of Swords in the reverse. So there's this avoidant energy, a need to confront and deal with their truth, take action on something here that they have not been. So we're going to pull 3 cards just to close up this reading, because I think I've hammered this reading to death. 3 cards. What does pile 4 specifically need to know about the person on their mind then? What does pile 4 need to know about this person on their mind? 4 Pentacles in the reverse. So hanging on to the past, blocked, a need to release, 2 held back, okay, and a need to trust. And I feel your person is letting go, allowing themselves to close out something, walk away from something here, release something so they're not so blocked at the Moon. Fears, doubts, subconscious sort of ways of being that have been created from a history that creates just an understanding of fear and a block to being happy, because I'm too fearful. I'm too uncertain. I'm too unclear here. Cancer, Page of Cups, new beginning in love, and Judgment in the reverse. Okay, so beautiful people. All piles were completely connected. That's how I see it. Your person has sort of a karmic understanding or lessons that they're working through that they haven't been able to see up until now regarding how to give love from a place that's innocent from the heart. Page of Cups is the most innocent sort of energy when it comes to giving love, because it doesn't know, and it doesn't use anything like fears and doubts in order to sort of bargain its love or withhold its love. There's a need for them to act in their heart space and allow themselves to have a new beginning here. And I feel like your person has not been able or allowing themselves to do this because they've been too hung up on how they've been understanding a situation, and it's been very fearful, and it's been keeping things very confusing until it hasn't, until you said, no, I don't want confusing. I don't want uncertainties. I don't want to attach myself to your fears or your blocked ability, your heart chakra, or anything here that's blocked, or whatever, your held backness. And so I feel like you're on your way to creating a new beginning. Okay. And it's sensed by your person, and your person is saying, like, I have to make things right here. I have to do the just thing. And they're coming into an awakening of sorts that's dealing with the understandings that they've had up until this point that's been very blocked. Okay. Why is the Judgment in the reverse? Because I feel that this person's in the midst of having this, the 5 Pentacle in the reverse, and having this breakthrough, because I mean, the 5 Pentacle is still present here, even though it's in the reverse. The lack mindset, the I cannot, the lack of confidence, feeling without, and I feel feeling without or feeling in the cold has made them sort of trigger them into this awakening of sorts, but they're not there yet, because I don't think that they're out of the cold. I think they're working through whatever they're in. And it's the love in their heart that allows them to work through the fear and doubt and all of this stuff and let go, so that they could come into some greater truth that they can see. And they're starting to see it very clear here that this has been the block. This has been the cause of their dissatisfaction here. Okay. Pile number 4. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much. I'll see you at the next one. All right. Bye-bye.